about the shooter and what we can find out about that person. And so Lauren and Brandon, of course, like I said, a fluid situation. We're trying to learn more. I know that police are expected to give an update at some point this morning, but we have not been given an exact time on when that will be happening.
All right, Shannon, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. We're going to check in with Chip again, and you've just been kind of monitoring this all morning in terms of the traffic impacts.
Most certainly, and just to reiterate, obviously we have restricted access still moving through the area where the incident took place, which is the huge exclamation point, but I did just want to give a quick lay of the land for everybody to be able to take a quick glance if you're needing to go ahead and move to your place of work. There has been an incident that's happened with a disabled vehicle in the backup of the issue on I-35E northbound, but that just blends in with the bumper-to-bumper traffic as one moves up towards the 183 split in that northbound direction. The detour.
Okay, guys, if you're just tuning in, there's been a shooting at an ICE office in Dallas, Texas, and I'm pulling up the information as it's coming in.
And 2 were wounded, but that was posted about 20 minutes ago by Dallas police. NBC News says 2 dead, 1 wounded. The New York Post claims that 3 detainees are dead. So we have different, different numbers, but multiple outlets are saying that 3 people were shot.
Guys, again, if you're just tuning in, looks like there has been a shooting at an ICE office in Dallas, Texas. The screen you're looking at is that location. And it looks like there's 3 detainees that were shot, and the suspect is dead. There's been I saw some report of sniper, but I don't know. I can't confirm that, but as of right now, there's been a shooting, and apparently 3 detainees have been shot, and a suspect is dead.
Confirming to us that 2 have been killed. 2 people.
Well, that could be the
dead.
Suspect and the victim.
Source is FBI. So we've got 2 dead on arrival and 1 injured. Yeah, that's all coming from the FBI. Alex Del Carmen, we want to join up with him on the line again. Alex, as you're watching this, you see the police presence there on the access road sort of dwindle, and we've got traffic now flowing on I-35E. Is this that second phase that Chip mentioned in this investigation where you kind of move on, or investigators are now looking at who is this shooter and what can we learn?
That's exactly right. So what's happening right now is you've got the FBI now on the scene. They're gathering all the evidence, all the information, but it's pretty safe to say that the threat has been neutralized, and therefore there is no immediate threat to the area anymore. But at the same time, the investigation phase has kicked in, which means that at this point is when other folks are going to be very active trying to serve search warrants, finding out who this person was, what kind of motive was behind this, what kind of ideology was being followed, and quite frankly, if there are any other actors that we should be concerned about.
Right. So, and I know you can also kind of speak to the coordination that takes place here. As we mentioned earlier, you've got state, you got local, and then you have obviously federal authorities all working together to try to figure this out.
That's right. So, just imagine that this actually took place within the city limits of Dallas, right? So Dallas Police Department will be the primary unit to respond, but at the same time, it's actually taking place in a federal facility, which means that the FBI has immediate jurisdiction along with Homeland Security. So there is no question that the feds are very heavily involved. They're likely leading the investigation with the cooperation of the Dallas Police Department and the state as well. So this is going to be a multi-agency type of investigation, but look, the best of the best is at the scene, and I have no doubt that they're going to find out why and how this was done.
All right, Alex Del Carmen, we appreciate your time this morning. And now Dallas police did confirm that 2 people were transported to the hospital. Steve Noviello has been at Parkland this morning. In terms of what you're seeing there, what do you know so far?
Let me kind of talk to you about what we usually would see kind of in a more active situation here. Generally, at this point, we would see ambulances, sirens on, pulling in, unloading victims that needed critical care. We would see kind of some of that trauma setup happening here. We would also see police detectives here. I don't know if you can see behind me, but there's not really a big police presence here at all, which really tells us a couple of things that we suspected and can now confirm, that either these folks, unfortunately, did not survive the shooting, or they were perhaps brought somebody somewhere else. We can confirm for you now that 2 of those detainees who were shot have in fact died from their injuries. The third one we're still waiting on an update for. The folks here at Parkland unable to tell us if that person was actually even brought to this facility. Again, especially when you consider the massive police presence at the scene, we would expect to see at least a portion of that mirrored here at Parkland, just because simply it's so close to the scene. We're about a mile away. There are some other facilities in the area like UT Southwestern, which are also very well equipped to handle this kind of thing. But as suspected earlier, the lack of police presence and activity here, we thought meant that perhaps these folks had succumbed to their injuries. We can confirm for you now that 2 of them had. That information comes to us from one of our sources close to the FBI. A lot of folks asking us, when we look at numbers like that of victim fatalities, are they including the shooter, who we were able to confirm earlier today died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound as law enforcement approached him on that nearby rooftop? We are told that when they consider victim count, they do not include the person who did the shooting in those numbers.
Yes, Steve, now I wanted to ask you a question, but I also wanted to say quickly, Dallas police have posted on X that they will be addressing this in a news conference at 9 o'clock, so in about 8 minutes or so here, they're expected to address this situation. You know, I know that in these situations, Steve, when you get on scene, there are a lot of people that are coming and going from a hospital. Have you been able to talk to anybody or gather maybe a mood from the employees or people coming in and out?
Well, I can tell you we spoke with the public information officer here at Parkland, and again, her availability to us, it's very odd in a situation like this, if this were actually an active scene, that the public information officer would even have time.
Okay, guys, let's see what others are saying. So we do have, we have 3 detained.
Fox News just posted that 2 are dead, and the shooter died, and no ICE officers were injured. That's what Fox News just posted.
Yes, whether or not that's
this was during a detainee transfer. Okay. Fox News says the shooting reportedly occurred as ICE officers were transferring detainees into the facility. Wow.
So, guys, if you're just watching, there's been a shooting
again. Fox News says they were, again, that's echoing the New York Post, what the New York Post says. The shooting reportedly occurred as ICE officers were transferring detainees into the facility. Detainees are victims.
So if you're just tuning in, there's been a shooting at an ICE office. Looks like there's 2 detainees that were shot. Apparently, it's been reported that this happened while they were transferring detainees to the ICE office. And I saw some reports about a sniper, but I can't confirm that. But there are currently two, what some news agencies are reporting is 2 detainees have been shot, and the suspect is no longer alive. So I'm just taking a look, guys, to get the absolute latest on this for you guys. So I'm just looking around. I got like 5 different windows open trying to figure this out here. So What you're looking at on your screen is the actual ICE office. This is where the shooting occurred. And this is Dallas, Texas, guys. That building that you're looking at, right in this area, right up here, right under that big sign that says Law Boss, that's where apparently the shooting happened. Again, guys, I'm looking around right now, finding the best current live news on this. And right now, currently, we have three injured from what is being reported. That's two detainees at an ICE office have been shot, and one suspect is apparently no longer alive. That's what we're hearing from the news agencies. I can't confirm that.
Redistribute wealth around the world.
Exactly.
From where? From the rich countries to the poor countries. What? Harmonize.
Okay, so that's not telling us anything.
I got the live shot. Give me a moment. Give me a moment.
We got another live
There it is.
shot. Let's
There it is. That is live in Dallas right there via Associated Press. We got microphones live in Dallas. We are waiting a statement from police. Thank you to Dan and Maggie. Okay, so we're waiting for a statement from police. You see microphones there?
Looks like they're setting up a news briefing. So we're going to hear in a minute exactly what's going on. We're going to hear exactly what's going on right now. So they're going to come out and give us
Okay, so again,
hang on.
we're waiting for a police statement here. This incident happened around 6:40 a.m. at the Dallas ICE field office, where reportedly 3 detainees were shot as they were being transferred into the facility. No ICE officers were shot. The suspect was reportedly found, well, the suspect is dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Reportedly, he was found on the roof of a nearby building.
Wow, guys. So you just heard that. Suspect was reportedly found. So there's says here 3 detainees have been shot, and it says that there's also a suspect, an additional person, a suspect that was found on a roof that is no longer alive due to a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Mayor Eric Johnson.
And we're currently waiting for a police statement to tell us exactly what happened.
CBS News, breaking news. CBS News also is now reporting, according to Camilo Montoya Galvez, CBS News is saying 2 detainees who were in ICE custody were shot and killed, and 1 person is hospitalized. So CBS News is also now reporting that 2 detainees were killed. We are waiting for an update from authorities shortly. He's moving, the person is moving the microphone slightly. They're putting a podium out there. We will be getting the live update from authorities shortly. CNN reports that this facility is used normally to process detainees before they go to a detention center.
No. La cámara que tengo en la conferencia.
Well, we will get more information in the coming moments.
Guys, so there are 3 detainees shot at an ICE facility. Some places are reporting that 2 of them could be dead. 1 or 2 could be dead. There was a suspect that was also found on a roof somewhere who is no longer alive due to a self-inflicted gunshot wound. So that's what we have reported at the moment. We're waiting for the police statement to come out. That's what you're looking at on your screen. Is this? They're setting up the microphones. They're about to give us an official statement. But what we have reported at the moment is 3 detainees shot, possibly 2 of them dead. 1 suspect who was found on a roof, no longer alive due to a gunshot wound. And so we're listening in as the news is coming in, and we're waiting. Looks like they're about to give us a police statement any moment, and that's what we're looking at. There's another view here. This is the location where you see. I'm going to zoom in a little more because we don't need to see the freeway. I'm going to zoom in a little more. This area here, so if you look, I'm moving the screen around so you can see there's all these emergency vehicles out here on the top left of your screen, and all of these police vehicles up here. And it looks like this area here is where, well, they just took away the screen, but that was the area where it was. And now we're looking at this screen here where they're going to be giving us the briefing. So we're just looking at this to see what's we're getting. We're going to get a an official police statement any second. So I'm just listening in to hear the news live as it's coming out. Let's see what they're saying. Guys, grab your coffee, grab your morning, whatever it is you got to do. While you're getting ready, you can just set me down. I'll be running you through this and showing you the statements and the live news as it comes. I got my coffee. As you guys are getting your morning started.
Will be moved for the press conference.
It's unfortunate we have another incident that's happened, and I'm going to bring it to you guys live as it's happening, as you're getting ready for work. Okay, guys. Let's see what they're saying here. They're setting up the microphone and the podium. Good times asking what happened. Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know. We don't know the motive. We're trying to figure that out. Hopefully the police statement will tell us more than just what we already know.
Yes, Dallas is Central Time.
Sorry, just listening there. But what we know as of now is
9:08 a.m. in
the
Dallas.
shooter
This
was on a roof
shooting
and is dead due to a
happened
self-inflicted gunshot
around
wound.
6:40 a.m. That's
And
how early it was.
the
Around
three
6:40 a.m.
So the three victims that were shot were all detainees. That means there were people that will. This is in Dallas, Texas. Angela's asking, where is this? Dallas, Texas. And they were three detainees that were apparently shot as they were being transferred to the ICE facility. That's what we know. On your screen here is, the police statement that's going to be given to us very soon. We're hoping that we're going to get more information on, I don't know if they can have a motive this fast, but we want to know exactly what's going on. Good time. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Please like and please subscribe. I'll be bringing you guys live coverage as it comes out. And we can all get together and talk about it and get to the bottom of this stuff. So I'm giving you guys the most current screens here. And we're waiting. This is the press conference that's going to happen right now. So let's listen in and see if there's any new news. And we'll be going back and forth on this.
Did this person do this at 6:40 a.m. because they were targeting? Was this person targeting the people they shot? Did they know these people would be transferred at 6:40 a.m. or so? Was it somebody who was just targeting the ICE office? We'll see if police have answers. Will police identify who the shooter is? I have not heard an identity for the shooter.
¿Te escuchas el audio ahí, no, Omar? ¿Me escuchas? Ok, listo. Ok, ahí viene.
Guys, we're waiting for the press conference.
Fox News said that the victims were killed. The victims were shot while ICE officers were transferring detainees to the facility.
Is there a local Fox reporter here? Yes, she's around here. She's in a little brown dress.
Again, Fox News says the shooting happened as detainees were being transferred into the building.
Guys, their sound is going in and out. Listening to reports from different media outlets right now. We're waiting for a police press conference. They're going to be giving an official statement soon. Obviously, I don't know if they're going to tell us about a possible motive. What we do know is what you're kind of seeing on your screen. I'm going to make this smaller so you can read that better. Let me see here. And so what's happened is we have it's an ICE facility in Dallas, Texas. They were apparently transferring detainees to the ICE office or from the ICE office. It was a transfer of some sort. 3 detainees were shot at the ICE office. It's been reported that I believe 2 are dead, but I can't confirm that. And it's also been reported that there was a shooter found dead on a roof who was dead due to a self-inflicted gunshot wound. So we're trying to figure out. There was some talk about a sniper, but that's not been confirmed, and I haven't seen those words being used again. But if it's on a roof, I would have to assume it is a sniper. But again, we're waiting for the official press conference to find out right now and a police statement. I'm going to put the sound back on. But again, guys, this is live, so the sound that I'm sourcing is not perfect. But you're hearing live as stuff is happening.
Thank you again to all of our moderators as we are waiting for the press conference. Over on Twitch, Big Ball of Yarn, Good Luck Duck, I Got That Fire, Sarah, and Papa Bear.
Okay, let's see.
We're not seeing a lot of police activity here, which again either tells me that they were taken to UT Southwestern, or perhaps unfortunately they were not able to be saved in a significant way that would then have them come to a hospital for more treatment, because unfortunately they have passed away. Again, we're being told 3 people have been shot. We can confirm 2 of them are deceased, and then on top of that, the shooter as well. We can tell you that Dallas police are taking a lead on this as they really try and figure out what happened here. We really go into the investigation phase at this point. How did this shooter get access to these people? Were they perhaps being transported in some way? Were they being walked into the facility in some way? Did he shoot through a window? All of these things are questions that we're hoping to get answered, hopefully as soon as that press conference that we're waiting on from the area right now. You've been mentioning the congestion around here. I can tell you just from our vantage point.
Okay, guys. So real quick, just so you know, this is Dallas, Texas, and this is what they're reporting right now. This is one news outlet is saying. There's 3 detainees that were shot, apparently during some type of a transfer to an ICE facility, and it looks like 2 of those detainees have been killed. They're no longer alive. 1 of them is injured. So out of 3 detainees that were shot, 2 are killed, 1 of them is injured. The suspect was found on a roof, dead due to a self-inflicted gunshot wound. That's the information that we have.
point. The roads, or the side streets at least, are starting to clear up. But again, we are about a good mile away from that investigation crime scene. So we expect that things will be a bit more easy moving.
So we're waiting right now on a police conference, a press conference, and they're going to give us an official statement.
Here, I'm looking out here in my periphery at Harry Hines and the roads around Parkland. Whenever we cover this type of thing, it's generally difficult to get in touch with the public information officer. She's good at her job, so she's generally available, but she's particularly available this morning. Again, there's no other media here as well. We ran into some of our colleagues from one of the other stations in town. People starting to wonder, okay, are we in the right place? Is anybody in fact being treated? Did anybody survive in a significant enough way that would require, some sort of treatment? But you're exactly right. Generally, what they would be doing is taking time to figure out how many victims, what is their condition, how are they being treated, how were they transported. We're not getting any of that information from Parkland this morning. Again, those questions are being referred to Dallas Police, who will be the lead agency on this investigation. We can also confirm for you that the Dallas branch of the FBI is now involved.
All right, so Steve, just to confirm, we've got 3 people who were originally shot. 2 have been are considered fatalities. The shooter is dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. So we have 1 person who was shot who, for now, has survived. Correct?
Correct. At this point, again, based on the information we were given earlier today, we are still waiting for an updated condition on the 3rd detainee who was shot, whether or not they survived, and if they did, how critical their injuries are.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
We hope to learn that at the news conference. That's where Peyton May is standing by. Peyton, I'm assuming there's a lot of people around you right now. Have they given us a timeline, an update on the time this will take place?
Yeah, Lauren, this is a very active investigation right now. As you can see behind me here, I mean, we have a large police presence. We also have media that is kind of swarming all around this area. We're actually staged at a Burger King parking lot. It's off of I-35E and around Empire Central. The police have been moving us around in a lot of different areas. So again, bear with us as we're kind of figuring out where there will be a press conference here. We're actually waiting on Mayor Eric Johnson's right now. There was a lot of traffic and shutdowns in this area, as Chip's been talking about all morning. So it's kind of taken a little while for everyone to get to this central location. So we are awaiting an update on where they are in the investigation. There are people kind of walking around in front of me as a lot of reporters and photographers are setting up. So please just keep in mind of that as well. But again, a large police presence here. I mean, we have ATF officers, we have Dallas police officers. We have counted at least, maybe 30 police vehicles around this area, just on this side of the parking lot. Dozens of officers, first responders that are going to be, briefing us and giving us some information. We've mentioned that Dallas Police is taking the lead on that. We're hoping to get more information from them shortly. We've all been kind of congregating around this area, just awaiting that update because, of course, a lot of us have questions about the investigation, about the victims, if there is any information about the shooter, along with the condition of those other 2 victims that we know were taken to the hospital. So again, we have a lot of questions. We're awaiting information from police. They have not given us any update just quite yet about this morning situation with the active shooter. Again, all we know so far is 1 was confirmed dead, 2 people wounded, taken to the hospital. We know the shooter died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. But again, as what we could see here right now, just very active situation. A lot of police around this area. There's also a lot of dogs that are kind of patrolling the area with ATF officers. So we know that this is just kind of a all hands on deck situation, just with police swarming all around here. So
Guys, so you guys are listening to this as I'm listening to it. I'm pulling all the live feeds in to give you the absolute latest ones, the latest information, the latest videos, and I'll keep putting this up. Whatever's the best and latest shots and videos, I'm going to show you guys those clips. Mental illness is high. Bring common sense and normality back. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. So guys, let me just make some adjustments here to my screens. So you're seeing it on the screen. There are 3 people that have been shot. This is in Dallas, Texas, at an ICE office, and there's 3, from what's been reported, 3 detainees have been shot. 2 of which have been reported dead. 1 of them is injured. There's also a shooter or a suspect that was found on a roof that is dead due to a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And as I said, we have a police statement. It's a press conference that's going to happen any minute now. So that's why you see all these microphones set up in the rain. They all just posted up right now, and they're about to hold a press conference and give us an official statement. I'm reading some chats here right now. It says everyone carries a gun. Everyone would be polite. Yep. There's a lot of good arguments to be had on both sides of the Second Amendment topic. I, for one, am a believer of the Second Amendment, and I'm not afraid to give my opinion. But like Charlie Kirk, I am very much open to debate and discussion and dialogue, especially with people that I may not agree with. So happy to have those discussions. If you guys have any input, feel free to talk about it. I'll give you my opinion. I'm not afraid, and especially now that what's happened with Charlie Kirk, no longer afraid to speak. Not that I was before, but now not even more than ever. So, guys, let me put the sound back, and until you guys want to start discussing some of this stuff, then we'll go ahead and cut that. But at the moment, I'm going to bring some of the sound back, and we are waiting right now for the official police statement on the situation. There's 3. So this is Dallas, Texas. This is an ICE facility. 3 detainees have been shot. It's reported 2 of them have been killed. They're no longer alive. At the hospital, they were reported dead. And 1 of them is injured. There's also 1 suspect that was found on a roof that is dead due to a self-inflicted gunshot wound. So I'm going to bring the sound back, and then also, if you guys want to discuss this in the chat, let me know. I have someone that just mentioned everyone carries a gun. Everyone would be polite. That's from Daniel. I'm assuming Daniel is someone that believes in the Second Amendment. I am one that believes in the Second Amendment. And let's see. While we wait, who are you and what's your background? I'm a citizen just like you. I am an entrepreneur. I am a son of an immigrant. I live in Southern California, born and raised in Southern California. If you want to know more about my background, feel free to ask me questions, but that's who I am. You're asking me who I am and what's my background. Daniel, feel free to ask me any questions that you want. I will, like I said, I'm an open book. I'll tell you exactly what I feel as well. I'll give you my opinion. I'm not afraid. But I am a Second Amendment. I do believe in Second Amendment. Let's read some more of these. And Daniel, feel free to give us information about your background. Tell us about yourself as well. If getting rid of the Second Amendment would get rid of all gun violence, how did Shinzo Abe get shot in Japan? Guns are not difficult to make. Yeah, Brandon, there's definitely lots of arguments to be had on both sides on this issue, and I am on your side. I believe in that as well. There's a lot that we could say about that. So obviously to back up what Brendan is saying, a lot of drugs are illegal, yet they're everywhere. You can go right now and get any drug you want. Let's be honest with each other. And I think the same would go with guns. So you ban guns, then you have, the argument is more bad people will have guns and will get them illegally than good people going in to stores and buying them legally. What do you guys think of that? Frank Rizzo says Charlie Kirk more like Charlie Jerk. Am I right? Not in my opinion. Charlie Kirk was not a jerk. Charlie Kirk was someone that talked to you. And if you didn't agree with him, you might think he's a jerk, but he's someone that talked to you. Charlie Kirk, guys, was someone that came to you. You didn't have to go pay for an entry ticket. You didn't have to go wait in line. And, well, you might have had to wait in line to talk on the mic, but you didn't have to pay for a camera guy. You didn't have to go build up your social media. He already did it for you. He came to you. He gave you a microphone, and he let you talk to the whole world. Charlie Kirk had billions upon billions of views, and he was worldwide. And you could, as a student, walk up to a microphone for free. He came to you. You didn't have to go anywhere. And you could walk up to a microphone and speak to the whole world and say exactly what you want to say. Adam, my name is Adam. I'm Canadian. Welcome, Adam. Glad to have you. Daniel, yes, this is Dallas, Texas. It's an ICE facility, and we're waiting for a press conference. This is they're going to give us an official police statement here soon. So that's what we're waiting for right now. You guys want to go ahead and grab your coffee and do your morning routine, and put me on your phone and put me in your ear. I'll be bringing this to you live as it's happening. You'll hear the press conference live, and I bring you the video, whatever the most recent live video is. This is all live video. You're watching them right now on your screen. They're setting up the press conference to give us that police statement. Let's read some more of these chats. I hear you may be applying for statehood with the USA. I hear you may be applying for statehood. What does that mean? Oh, I think he's talking to Adam. I think he's messing with Adam, right? Yeah, Canada. Okay, so he's talking to Adam in Canada. Daniel, you asked me about myself. I told you a little bit about myself. Does that help? And Daniel, did you say where you're from? No. I welcome everyone from Canada, man. I honestly, not trying to troll, but I would love to have Canada as part of the United States. But that's just a maybe a personal thing. But okay, so say it how it is asking who was killed. So this is what's been reported, guys. It's for those of you that are just joining. This happened in Dallas, Texas at like 6:45 a.m. around that time, their local time. And so what happened is it's apparently happened during some type of a detainee transfer. I can't confirm that, but what has happened is we have 3 detainees that were shot. 2 are reported to be dead. And then on top of these 3 that were shot, these are detainees. There's one suspect that was found on a roof that was found dead due to a self-inflicted gunshot wound. That's what we have so far. And again, guys, the screen you're looking at is them setting up the press conference. We're about to get an official police statement. These guys are in the rain, and you can see all their umbrellas and everything. They're set up in the rain with their microphones. So this tells me it's going to happen very soon. They're not going to, most likely not going to be setting up to be out there for hours. This is probably going to be happening very, very soon. So again, guys, grab your coffee, do your morning thing. Just, you can put me in your ear and go about your morning routine, and I'll bring you the live coverage.
Word on just a lot of these questions, Peyton, and we're waiting for the answers.
Yes, that's exactly right, Brandon. I mean, we are in the middle of kind of a press gaggle here. We, again, originally thought that this press conference was going to start at 9. We have heard later that Mayor Eric Johnson is en route and will be a part of this press conference. We assume that's why there's a little bit of a delay. I mean, all morning there have been issues getting around this area, of course, as certain areas have been shut down for safety reasons. We are actually at the parking lot of a Burger King off of I-35E, and we are awaiting, you know, kind of what police are hoping to give us more information about the circumstances of this situation. Again, all we know so far is what we've been reiterating all morning of this active shooting situation, someone on a roof shooting at an ICE facility. Again, 2 confirmed dead, 1 person wounded, taken to the hospital. As Steve had mentioned, we are working towards an identification of that person, of course, being very careful to mention that. We want full confirmation from police here before we are able to release that. But again, we have a lot of questions about who these victims were, who the shooter was. Police in this area are treating this as a very active scene, I will say. I mean, there are law enforcement officials from several different departments. We, of course, have Dallas Police. We have ATF officers that have kind of been patrolling around the area, too, with dogs. As you can see right now on camera, they're kind of navigating, moving some of the vehicles in this small parking lot. I want to mention, again, there are a lot of businesses in this area. I mean, you could see a FedEx office right by us, again, a Burger King. So there are customers that are trying to get around in this area, too. But we are all staged. I mean, it's at least 20 to 30 different media organizations waiting on this update from police. We have not heard anything else from officers as we've been here, other than we are waiting on the mayor. But we do have Dallas Police, Homeland Security, ATF officers, tons of different departments. I mean, I want to say that there's at least 40 police vehicles that have showed up, law enforcement vehicles that have showed up.
So there you have it, guys. We're waiting for this police statement, this press conference. It was supposed to happen about 30 minutes ago. And all of these news agencies and everyone's set up out there in the rain. So this, I'm guessing and hoping it's going to happen very soon. But neither, nonetheless, I have all these different shots here ready for you guys. These different feeds available. So I'm going to be bringing you the live latest coverage, and I'll bring the statement as soon as it's live. They're asking in the chat about American gun culture. We Americans, the majority of Americans, I would say, are very proud of our gun culture. You hear about some gun violence, like this is happening now, and other types. But then we can, one could say that we politicize all of this stuff a lot because we allow for open debate, we allow for freedom of speech, freedom of press, and the press on the opposite side of the gun spectrum is going to push all of any little bit of gun violence that happens. They're going to push it, but one could argue that we have less violence overall than many of your other developed countries. And more importantly, we're a sovereign nation. We're not ever going to be taken over by our government. We're never going to be taken over by anybody, by anyone. We stand firmly for our own rights and for our rights as humans and as Americans. So that's the reason why no other country wants to go up against America. That's why our government will not raise our hand to us. Um, so that's what our gun culture is all about. Um, and, uh, and another argument could be had that our gun culture is what saves a lot of lives. If you walk around in America and you think you're gonna go nuts and start, hurting people and threatening people's lives, in the back of your head that any one of us could have a gun and could protect ourselves, and will protect our own other neighbors, and we will protect our own citizens and our friends and our fellow Americans. We will do that. So if you're some kind of a suspect, you always know in the back of your mind, hey, wait a minute, and even if you don't know, you go do something and you're psycho and you just don't even care, that someone with somewhere nearby will have a gun, and we will protect each other. We will protect our fellow Americans. Doesn't matter who you are, what side of the aisle you're on, what side of the political spectrum you're on, we will protect each other. That's what we do. Yesterday we did a 5-hour live. Actually, we did like 7 hours total, but we talked about a lot of this stuff. And I'm just reading some of these chats here because it's pretty interesting. So, Daniel's absolutely right. We will protect each other, and that's the reality. Okay, so this is what I was going to say is yesterday we had this discussion, and we had someone from the Netherlands say that you guys sound like the most divided country in the whole world. And it's like, no, we sound like that because we allow for that open debate and that freedom of speech and freedom of press. And you see our differences on blast. You see our differences being really heightened on the news that you're being fed. We're American. We love each other. We love America. You may hear people or see people burning our flags and doing whatever kind of chauvinistic or whatever it is that they do, but we love each other. We're Americans. I love all of my fellow Americans. I'm totally glad to disagree with people and not hate them and still love them, and I will protect them till I will protect them to my death. That's just the kind of person I am, and I don't care whether you're like that or not. Doesn't bother me. I'm like that, and I have the majority of my friends and family and people that I'm around. They're like that. They will protect themselves and you, and that's how we are. We'll do that. And regardless of what you guys think from other countries about us and how you think that we're divided or something like that, we may sound like it, and we may argue and debate and go at it really hard, but we love each other, and we're proud to be Americans, and we're proud to defend each other. You better believe that. There's nothing that we love more as Americans than helping each other and defending each other and holding each other up and coming into arms with each other. That's how we are. Yeah, this is another really good argument. People say, well, no, the cops can have guns and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, yeah, but cops are a long ways away. You call the cops and it takes them how long to get somewhere? And in that time, someone that wants to do harm can really do harm. Right? Ricardo's asking, where is this? This is Dallas, Texas. Dallas, Texas, buddy. No, the shooter was convinced by his father to turn himself in. The cops arrested him. Yeah, Adam, I think definitely we're united as Americans. I know that there's a lot of polarizing discussion online, and again, people see us being polarized, but we're very united. We love each other. We love being American. there's nothing, there's nowhere else we'd rather live, and there's no other people we would rather live aside. We would love to, we enjoy and appreciate our country and our rights, and we appreciate one another. And there's nowhere other place I'd rather be. I'm a product of immigrants, and my parents came from another country. I was born here in Southern California. So yeah, and regardless of where my parents are from, or where anybody else is from, or where any of my friends, I was raised in a melting pot. Southern California, one of the biggest melting pots of the world, and I grew up with lots of people from all over the world, and no matter what, I've been all over the world. I've traveled the world, and I'm going to continue traveling the world. There's nowhere that I'd rather be than America. And there's no other people that I would rather live with than Americans. Straight up. And I don't care what side you're on. The beauty of here's something I'll tell you guys. The beauty of Americans is our passion is insane. So you see the passion on both sides. Ooh, dude, that's why countries know you don't want to mess with America, bro. You don't want to mess with America. The passion we have, if you unite us against you, don't do that. You already know, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So again, guys, there's, us Americans love each other regardless of what you guys think from other countries. We're very proud to be Americans, and as much of this polarization you see online, that's heightened, and that's something that they politicize. But this polarization, it's there, but it's because we like to debate fiercely. But outside of the debate, we love each other fiercely. We love being American fiercely. We love being together and sticking up for one another fiercely. That's why we are who we are. That's why we are America. That's how it goes down. And we will back each other up. And just a quick update, guys. We're waiting for no civil war. There's no civil war coming. And I'll give you my take on that. Let me just tell you guys, there's a police statement going to be given soon. There's a press conference that's about to happen any moment. I don't believe there's anything like a civil war. We're not that. We don't. Again, it's not like we don't hate each other. We have difference of opinion, and we argue fiercely, but we're not trying to hurt each other. What happened with Charlie Kirk is not something that's going to bring about a civil war. What happened with Charlie Kirk is going to make us talk about politics even more than we've been talking about politics. And we're going to be arguing and debating even more fiercely. And I'll tell you what countries I've been to in a minute. We're going to debate about politics even more fiercely. And here's what happens when you debate things fiercely, and when these kind of heightened emotions and things happen. Every time I got in a fight growing up, and I got in lots of fights. Those of you that know me from childhood know me. I was a tough kid, and everyone that I got in a fight with physically or verbally, I became better friends with. And I'm sure a lot of you understand what I mean. And what I think is going to happen after what's happened with Charlie Kirk is that we're going to debate more fiercely, and we're going to, get to the bottom of a lot of things. We're going to find places, obviously, where we disagree, but we're going to find quickly places that we do agree. And we're going to find out that we are, in fact, not that different from each other. And a lot of us already know that, but a lot of us are still trying to, figure that out. And that's what we're going to learn. I've been to lots of countries, man. I've traveled the world. One of my favorite countries. I mean, I'm not going to go through every single country. One of my favorite countries is where I took a. You can see. You can see my love for Porsche. I'm a car guy. I went to Germany. I drove on the Nürburgring. Do you know what that is? I actually drove on the Nürburgring. I took a Porsche GT3 manual transmission, stick shift, on the Nürburgring. But I've been to so many countries, and I can't wait to go to even more. I'm also a person with a big heart, and I always love everyone, even if you hurt me. Daniel, dude, appreciate that, bro. Love that, man. Love that. Love that. That's awesome. Yeah, we as Americans, you know, again, I'll reiterate this: we love each other. And guys, we're waiting right now for the press conference to go live. It should be happening any moment. This was supposed to happen 47 minutes ago, and it hasn't happened yet. They're out there in the rain, so we'll see. Daniel, I encourage you to get a phone out in your local community and do the news. Local news is lacking. We need feet on the ground. Yeah, I hear you, man. But I'm actually working with a few. I'm talking to a few people. I'm probably gonna have someone get out there and do the live. But for now, I have live feeds that I tap into. That's what I'm going to be showing you guys now. But Daniel, give me more feedback, bro. I'm happy to know exactly what you mean by that. The local community, I do that. So Daniel, if you're not aware, I go out in the local community. I do live street interviews. I do that. I literally go out. If you look at my YouTube channel, are we going to be starting soon? No. As soon as it starts, I'm going to give it to you guys live. But I do go, and I do, that's one of my favorite things to do live. You can see my name is MedikationLIVE at the top of your screen there. At the very top, you see that's my YouTube. If you're on Instagram, it's just Medication. You take the live part out. My name is Medication on Instagram. I have a bigger following on Instagram than I do YouTube at the moment. However, YouTube is growing fast. So guys, please subscribe to me on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. But thank you so much to Bull Kane. Appreciate you. Yes, we disagree, but we are united. We love each other. We love being American. Despite what you see on TV and all this politicized stuff, we love each other as Americans. I will back you up. I will back any of my fellow Americans up any day, and I'm not just saying that. Those of you that knew me as a you know, growing up as a kid, you know I'm down and I back people up. That's how I am, and that's how we are as Americans. You know, we love each other. We love our country. We're sovereign, and we protect each other. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Yep. Thank you so much for smashing the like button and subscribing. I'll be giving you guys this stuff live as it comes. I've been doing this. I did this a couple of times. But if you don't know, I do live street interviews. So I get out and I go walk the streets, you know, in my local area, my local community, and I talk to people about their thoughts on politics. I give them open mics. And I'll tell you a quick little anecdote. I'll tell you a quick little story that just happened a few days ago while I was doing a live street interview. I talked to someone about his thoughts about, or I was just asking a group of people about their thoughts about abortion. And some guy was telling me a story. He said, listen, you know, I don't talk about this, but my mom was going to abort me. And again, guys, I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about someone that I just interviewed on the streets. And that's what I do. I interview people on the streets live, uncensored, unfiltered. So I talked to this guy. He said, my mom was going to abort me. She went to one place, and I think she either couldn't afford it or was not able to abort him. She went to a second place, again, was not able to abort him, ended up giving birth to him, ended up putting him up for adoption. 40 years later or 50 years later, the guy now, while I'm talking to him, turns out I didn't see them nearby, but he had children and grandchildren living a great life. Might I add, this guy was living a really good life. And he just within the last few years was able to locate his own mother and get this, okay, trip out on this. He located his own mother, and she, at this moment, lived 5 minutes away from him. Can you believe that? I was blown away. So this guy literally was put up for adoption in another state. His mom, they grew up, they were in another state. His mom gave birth to him in another state. He ends up finding his way to California, Southern California. His mom ends up in Southern California. And they end up living 5 minutes away. Crazy. And now this son of hers that she was going to abort, that she put up for adoption, now has children and grandchildren. Jaretubin, I hope I'm not butchering your name. It was supposed to start 52 minutes ago. These reporters are out there in the rain, and they're waiting for this press conference to go live any minute. It was supposed to happen almost an hour ago. So you can see them all out there, and they're out there with their umbrellas, getting rained on, and they're waiting to get this police statement, official statement, right now. Reading some of your chats. You should be protected by law to facilitate your right to defend yourself. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. Guys, I got up and this happened just as I was getting up. I didn't even get a chance to fix my hair. So I'm just kind of, waking up here a little bit. I got my coffee. You guys can grab your coffee. I'll be giving you, just put me in your ear, and I'll be giving you this live as it comes out. So hopefully we're going to get some kind of a motive and find out why and how and what is going on, why this happened. But let's see here. Americans are generally bred to respect everyone, but to never bend the knee to tyrants. Yes, that's exactly what I've been saying, bro. 100% I agree with you. Small or large, don't confuse the whole country with Chicago. That's the way you have been taught. Yep, that's how we've been raised, man. That's how we've been raised. We fiercely debate each other, and you guys see our debates, but don't get that confused for how much we defend each other. We fiercely defend each other. Fiercely. And I love talking with people I don't agree with. I'm happy to do that. I did that my whole life. Yep. I agree with you guys. Yeah, I love talking to people I don't agree with. I did that my whole life. I'll be honest, I was a tough kid growing up. I was glad to get into physical fights when I was growing up. I did a lot of that. But I did that early on, and I grew out of that. And I grew into verbal. I would talk and debate and argue with people verbally. And verbally is not as easy for me as physical, or it wasn't when I first started. Because you got to be more articulate, and you got to, it's just a different thing. But guys, I'm going to bring in the sound now from these feeds just to see if there's anything different happening, and you guys can hear this. Listen up.
To get through these areas, trying to be as discreet as possible, knowing that this is still, at the end of the day, a very public, a very busy, and a very trafficked area, nonetheless.
Yeah. And we heard former Dallas Police Chief David Brown. He said, like, even a novice could shoot with a rifle at a distance, like if it had a scope on it. So we don't know, who this person is yet, but it could be anyone. It doesn't have to be somebody with training anymore these days.
Right, and it very well might have been somebody who was aiming for one person and hit another. That possibility is still out there at this point.
Yeah, well, and we're hoping to learn some sort of answers to these questions here in a news conference that is scheduled or was scheduled at 9. We're just kind of waiting for that to transpire.
Yeah, it looks like they're
gathering everybody. All right.
Pushing that back. And I also think, too, when we're dealing with an investigation that involves several different agencies, I mean, this falls in Dallas city lines. However, it is a federal facility involving federal agents. And so I think that coordination here will be kind of on full force, on full display when that news conference takes place.
Yeah, Dallas police taking the lead. I think they were waiting for the mayor at last check. And so we will update you as soon as we have more on that. We're going to check back in with Shannon because she is right at that area where this.
So, guys, looks like we'll have the mayor speaking alongside the police. So they're going to give us a press conference here soon. Most of my life, I've lived in Texas. I lived in Van Nuys for almost 2 years. And you're right, LA has a huge diaspora of cultures and ethnicities. Van Nuys, yeah, that's real close to where I live. I'm in Orange County, California. And this is a melting pot. We live in a melting pot. I'm a children of immigrants. My parents gave birth to me here in Southern California. They're from another country. Being first generation American and growing up here around lots of immigrants and children of immigrants, I've been exposed to lots of countries and languages and cultures, and it's been a beautiful thing. And I will say that the most important thing to understand is, although we come from lots of different countries, we love America and we love being American, and we would not change that for anything. We were always proud, very proud, fiercely proud, and we would always defend each other, and we will always do that as Americans. And regardless of what you guys see out there, I know you guys are here from different countries, and you guys see us as being polarized, and that maybe we don't agree on some subjects. Regardless of whether or not we agree on some subjects, one thing we do agree on is the love for our country. We love our country. We love each other, and we will defend each other fiercely, whether or not we agree with each other. And by the way, guys, the way that you see us fiercely disagree and fiercely debate, that passion, that's what people know about us Americans. We are strong-minded, we are passionate, and we are not the people to go up against. We are not, especially as another country. You do not want to unite us against you. Don't do that. Not America. Do not do that. Tibble, hopefully I'm saying your name right. I'll just say Kane. I have found people who chose American citizenship and first gens are more patriotic and grateful than a lot of others who have had family here for hundreds of years. Yeah, it's interesting how you see a lot of flag burning from immigrants recently in the news, but I think that's just the highly politicized portion of it. A lot of us products of immigrants, which I am, we're really, really proud to be American, and we're really grateful, very grateful. And I can see where you're coming from, Kane, on that. I could definitely see where you're coming from because our parents went through so much to get here, and we hear about it firsthand. We are very grateful for being here, whereas, if you've been here for years or generations, and your parents have been here for generations, they don't, or they haven't, witnessed that struggle themselves firsthand, and so they don't like kind of speak to that to their children, and they may not have that firsthand knowledge and experience like my parents. My parents are so grateful to be here. My parents killed themselves to be here. And when they came here, guys, I'm waiting for a press conference. That's why I'm talking to you guys. So as soon as it goes live, I'm going to let you know. But my parents, as soon as my parents got here, they were literally maids at hotels. They literally were working as maids for hotels. The hotels around Disneyland. My parents were maids in those hotels, cleaning up hotel rooms. Is where they literally started, and they worked their way up from there. My dad became like a bar hand, or I forget what you call it, but he was the person underneath a bartender, and then eventually, after years, became a bartender, and then worked his way up. Some discussions here. Canadian Freedoms is curious about something, but he didn't say what. And then we are not talking about defending your country. Military action is totally different. Okay, I don't know what he's talking about there. I'm a proud American. America. Okay, it looks like we might be getting close to the press conference here soon. I'm proud to be American, but I'm an English guy living in Australia. That's interesting. Tell us more, Andy. I'm proud American. So you're from America originally, born here, or your family's American? But I'm an English guy. So how are you an English guy and you live in Australia? You got a whole trifecta going, bro. Tell us more. Andy, if you love freedom, liberty, and justice for all, that's American in my book. Yeah. Ninva says we immigrated and love it here. Love to hear that, buddy. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And yeah, we love this country. My parents were immigrants, and they're so happy to be here. I'm confused. The ICE officer shot at the detainee or what? No, Blobby Fishman. Let me tell you what's been reported. So Blobby Fishman, this is what's happened. This is what we know so far. At around 6:45 in the morning in Dallas, Texas, 3 detainees were shot during some type of a transfer. Again, this is all unconfirmed. That's why we're waiting for the report. And it looks like there might be an official statement from Dallas. Let me get this going. Here's an official statement on the screen. 3 detainees at an ICE office were shot. 2 of them are reported to be dead. And there's 1 suspect that was found on a roof that is apparently dead due to a self-inflicted gunshot wound. That's what we know.
They are claiming it was indiscriminate. Well, we'll hear from officials in a second, but Palava says, how can they determine that? Yes, and that's what I don't understand, where that information is coming from.
Okay,
well, let's hear what authorities have to say.
Here we go.
They say 3 individuals were shot and 2 dead. ICE confirmed 3 were shot and 2 have died. ICE says the shooter shot indiscriminately.
Guys, we're currently waiting for the press conference to go live. And this is where we're going to hear from, I believe, the mayor and the police. And we're going to get an official statement. And in the meantime, guys, appreciate you for joining. Please subscribe to my channel for more of live cover of this type of live coverage. And I'm going to be bringing it to you. Feel free to grab your coffee and get your morning going. And I'm going to be giving you this live as it happens. So just you can keep me in your ear and go about your morning, and we'll bring. This is about to go live. This press conference. Let's listen.
Sound on that one, so we're going to keep this one on. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check.
Okay.
This camera needs to plug the mic in. I don't. I assume AP will be plugged in to have a mic up there. We have two different cameras, so.
Gracias.
Thank you for subscribing, Andy. Appreciate you, buddy. Guys, please subscribe. I'll bring you more of this live coverage. I'm going to give you this live as this happens right now. They're checking the microphones right now. They're about to give us a press conference and statement. So this is going to be a live statement happening right now. I'm really hoping they're going to give us the motive. I don't know if they will. I really hope that we can have some information other than what we already know. We do know that 3 detainees were shot. 2 of them are reported to be dead at the hospital. And we have one shooter or suspect that was found on a roof. He was found dead due to a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And right now they're in Dallas nearby, apparently at a Burger King parking lot. And they have the microphones set up, as you can see, and they are about to give us an official statement any moment. By the way, this was supposed to happen over an hour ago. They've all of these reporters and everyone has been out here in the rain for the last hour plus waiting for this official statement. So hopefully it's going to be fruitful and give us more information. So here we go. I'm going to put the sound back on. So guys, we're waiting for the official statement. These are the microphones set up. We're going to have the mayor come out any second. And we also have the police that are going to give us their official statement. It's a press conference. They're going to tell us live what's going down. I'm also looking for other videos here to get us a better feed if we can. This is a good feed, but I'm always looking for anything that may be better for us. So, guys, if you're joining me on Instagram, you can look me up. My name is MedikationLIVE. You can see that on the screen up top on YouTube. And I do a lot of this stuff on YouTube. A lot of my chat, if you guys are looking, is on YouTube. And that's the one that I respond to the most because all of my followers on YouTube are the ones that talk to us the most. So appreciate you guys on YouTube. And those of you that are on YouTube, you could find my Instagram. It's medication, no live, just medication, as you see on the top of the screen. That's my Instagram. And here, let's listen in and see what's going on.
Again, multiple reports say those shot were detainees. All 3 shot. 2 of the people shot dead, 1 wounded, and the shooter died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Reportedly, the shooter was firing on the ICE facility from a nearby rooftop. Type of weapon, Dexter says, we do not know. Thank you to I Am Charlie, Crazy Yoda, Crypto King, Lidwine Elizabeth, John Oren, Sean Clancy, T-Bird.
Looks like you guys are finding friends in my chat. Welcome back, Mia. Good to have you. I think Mia's from, if I remember correctly, Netherlands, right? Or was it Holland? Guys, we're waiting for the press conference. The mayor, I believe, is going to be giving an official statement here. And we're waiting to see, hopefully we can get some more information and find out if there was some type of a motive, you know, what the angle was here. But what we're hearing is the suspect was found dead on a roof, and the suspect was found dead on a roof due to a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Some people are reporting that this happened during a transfer where they were transferring detainees, and they also said that I can't confirm this, but hopefully they can, that the suspect, this is happening in Dallas, Texas, that the suspect shot into a van. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's one of the things I've heard, is that they shot into a van. So I don't know if the suspect knew who they were shooting at, if the van maybe had tinted windows or whatnot. I have no idea. But hopefully we'll find out soon. This is in Dallas, Texas. Blobby Fishman is against guns. He already told us that earlier, but let's see what he has to say. I think we need to come at this without politics before anything. People try to decide if they care about someone's death based off politics. Presenter, no comment from you. No comment from your detainees having access to guns. There were detainees, for correct? I don't know what you mean. Robert, tell me what you mean. I'm just saying that the suspect was found on the roof. The shooter was on a roof and is apparently dead due to a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And what I understand is the shooter was shooting at detainees and hurt, injured, and killed detainees. Yeah, Robert, the detainees, from what we know, were not the shooters. Robert is saying they were detainees with guns? Where did you get that information?
Yeah.
Robert, where did you get that information? I don't have that information. Yeah, Robert, we have not heard about detainees with guns. We have heard of a shooter on a roof with guns, and we have heard of the detainees being the suspects. I'm sorry, being the victims who got shot. 2 of which are dead. One of which is injured. And the other person that is reported to be dead is the shooter who was found on the roof, who apparently is dead due to a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Juan, mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check.
We're waiting for an official statement.
Wani. Mic check. Okay.
Robert, there was no report that the guy on the roof was a detainee. That's not what we've heard. I'd be curious to talk to Solver from Xanax, some kind of to Bull, I'm curious about that too. You're talking about Charlie Kurtz. Oh, here we go, guys.
Okay, Mayor's first. Mayor's with Joe. Here. Joe. And then you're gonna speak next? Joe, you're speaking after Joe, right? Josh is speaking. No worries, sir. Good to see you again. How do you pronounce your name? Okay.
Good morning. We're about to get started and brief you on the events as we know them that happened this morning.
All right. Let me start off by saying that I'm a person who believes very, very strongly in the power of prayer, and that prayer changes things. And so I'm going to ask everyone, please join me in praying for the families of the folks who lost their lives today, pray for the speedy recovery for those who are hurt and were injured in what happened today. But maybe even more to the point, we're a country and a city that needs prayer. So I'm going to ask you all to join me also in praying for this city, that we can come together at a time like this, and that we can be there for one another the way we always have in times like this, to support one another, help us all get through this very difficult time, not just in our city, but in our country. And that's why I'd ask you to pray for our nation. There's a lot going on right now in our country. A lot of it's confusing. It's a scary time. I've got children. I've got 3 young children, and I'm here to tell you that it is challenging to explain to them what's going on in our country right now. But I said before, and I'll say it again, I believe in the power of prayer to change things, and it can change the hearts of people. It can change this country. It can change the city. So please pray for everyone who's affected by today's tragedy. I also want to say thank you to the Dallas Police Department, and say thank you to the Dallas Sheriff's Department, Dallas County Sheriff's Department, Texas Department of Public Safety, and all of our various federal law enforcement partners who acted so quickly today to make sure that today's tragedy wasn't worse than what it was. So on behalf of the city of Dallas, I want to say thank you to all of you. And you're going to hear from some of those folks later, but I want to let you know that we appreciate what you all do, not just today, but every day, to help keep us all safe. And lastly, and this is really important, I would ask all of the city of Dallas residents who can hear me right now, let's be patient, let's remain calm, and let's let our law enforcement partners, our police department, do their job. This is an active investigation. There's still a lot of unanswered questions, and I want to encourage all of you to exercise a little bit of restraint and allow them to do their job to help make sure this continues to be a safe city, and that they can help us figure out what happened here today. But with that, I want to say, again, thank you to all the folks who came out this morning from our law enforcement community. I'll turn it over to our police chief, Daniel Como, to speak a little bit more directly to the investigation itself. And with that, Chief Como, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Today at approximately 6:40 a.m., we received a city officer call. We responded to the call, got to the scene, and we later learned that we had 4 individuals that were shot, 2 of them deceased, including the shooter. The DPD was able to locate the shooter, who was deceased. We're going to be working this investigation shoulder to shoulder with our federal partners. The FBI is on scene, and right now I'm going to introduce you to the SAC of the Dallas Field Division, FBI Joe Rumrock.
Yeah, good morning. My name's Joe Rothrock. I'm the special agent in charge of the Dallas FBI Field Office. I want to first start by thanking our partners in local law enforcement, specifically the Dallas Police Department, for their quick and timely response. I can confirm at this time that the FBI is investigating this incident as an act of targeted violence. It is unfortunately just the most recent example we've seen of targeted violence, to include here in North Texas, where back on July 4th, we saw a coordinated attack carried out against an immigration detention center in Alvarado, Texas. What I can also share with you is that early evidence that we've seen from rounds that were found near the suspected shooter contain messages that are anti-ICE in nature. Again, this is just the most recent example of this type of attack. This will be a whole of government response. There will be no resource not utilized to bring all those individuals who are responsible to bring them to justice and to hold them accountable. While we're not releasing identities of any victims at this time, what I can confirm for you is no members of law enforcement were hurt during this attack. If any member of the public has information that would help the FBI's investigation, I would ask that you please report that to 1-800-CALL-FBI. Again, any piece of information will be helpful, but this will be an ongoing investigation between us, a number of federal partners, and our local partners, again, to ensure that anyone responsible is held accountable. With that, I will turn it over to my counterpart from the ICE Enforcement and Removal Office.
Good morning. My name is Joshua Johnson. I'm the acting field office director for ICE Dallas. I'll be brief with my comments, but I do want to start off by saying thank you to the Dallas Police Department, Dallas FBI, HSI, CBP, ATF, and virtually every law enforcement officer in North Texas for your support. This is the second time I've had to stand in front of you and talk about a shooter at one of my facilities, and I think that the takeaway from all of this is that the rhetoric has to stop. There are people out there who are seeing what is being placed online, and they're coming and they're doing acts of violence against ICE employees. So that's kind of all I have for today, is that it's just got to stop. It's dangerous, and people are losing their lives. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for coming. We really appreciate it. Again, thank you all so much. As it was said here today, if you do have any information, reach out to 1-800-CALL-FBI. Thank you. Thank you.
This needs to stop. Violence is wrong. Politically motivated violence is wrong. It was 2 weeks ago today that we saw a political assassination in Utah that tore the heart out of much of this country. This is the third shooting in Texas directed at ICE or CBP. This must stop. To every politician who is using rhetoric demonizing ICE and demonizing CBP, stop. To every politician demanding that ICE agents be doxxed and calling for people to go after their families, stop. This has very real consequences. Look, in America, we disagree. That's fine. That's the democratic process. But your political opponents are not Nazis. We need to learn to work together without demonizing each other, without attacking each other. And I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to the brave men and women of law enforcement. I want to say thank you to the brave men and women of ICE and CBP and everyone who puts their lives on the line to keep us safe. The divisive rhetoric tragically has real consequences. I hope that every one of us will pray, number one, for the safety of law enforcement that are risking their lives to keep us safe. Number two, for the health of those who were shot and injured today. We still don't know the full details of who was injured, but for the families also of the victims of this shooting. Violence has no place. It is wrong. And we should come together. If we want to have a debate about immigration policies, we can do so in the halls of Congress without demonizing each other, and especially without demonizing the men and women who every day put on a badge and go risk their lives to keep us safe. And we should not be putting language out there that inspires madmen to commit evil crimes. Our prayers are with the men and women of law enforcement, and we ought to come together and have some decency across the political aisle to say this violence is wrong and it needs to stop.
Senator, have you been told that immigrant detainees were the victims of today's shooting?
My understanding is the details of who the victims are still being ascertained, so I don't want to go ahead of law enforcement releasing these details. What they have said is that no law enforcement was injured, and so that's a natural inference, but I don't know the details.
So I'm not going to go into any more details at this time. We will come back to you when we have more details to share. Again, our goal here will be transparency as those details become available, but we are still in the early stages of an investigation. Information is still coming in. When we have more details, we will come back to this group. I'm not going to be identifying victims at this time. The only thing I will confirm at this time is no law enforcement was injured. Certainly you can respect law enforcement's need to make notifications. At this point in time, we're not going to take any additional questions from law enforcement. Again, I'd ask for you to respect the fact that this is an ongoing investigation, and as more details come available...
We're not asking for the names of the victims.
I understand. I will...
If the victims are the detainees.
The only thing I can say right now is no law enforcement was injured this morning as part of the attack. I won't be taking any more questions, neither will law enforcement this time. We'll come back to you later today.
So other than law enforcement,
Now, did you call this a targeted attack? Do you know if the shooter knew who you saw shooting at?
Guys, that was a weak police statement and press conference. I think there was a lot more that we could listen to, but I'm going to rewind this back to where they were talking about the shooter and the bullets. So let's go back and see where this is exactly. 1 second here.
All right.
Okay, so listen here, guys.
Deceased, including the shooter. The DPD was able to locate the shooter who was deceased. We're going to be working this investigation shoulder to shoulder with our federal partners. The FBI is on scene, and right now I'm going to introduce you to the SAC of the Dallas Field Division, FBI Joe Rumrock.
Yeah, good morning. My name's Joe Rothrock. I'm the special agent in charge of the Dallas FBI Field Office. I want to first start by thanking our partners in local law enforcement, specifically the Dallas Police Department, for their quick and timely response. I can confirm at this time that the FBI is investigating this incident as an act of targeted violence. It is unfortunately just the most recent example we've seen of targeted violence, to include here in
listen up, guys. He's going to talk about the, I believe, the writing on the bullet casings. So listen up.
North Texas, where back on July 4th, we saw a coordinated attack carried out against an immigration detention center in Alvarado, Texas. What I can also share with you is that early evidence that we've seen from rounds that were found near the suspected shooter contain messages that are anti-ICE in nature. Again, this is just the most recent example of this type of attack. This is just the most recent. It is unfortunately just the most recent example we've seen of targeted violence, to include here in North Texas, where back on July 4th, we saw a coordinated attack carried out against an immigration detention center in Alvarado, Texas. What I can also share with you is that early evidence that we've seen from rounds that were found near the suspected shooter contain messages that are anti-ICE in nature.
So anti-ICE in nature, that is obviously a left-sided thing, right? Someone in the chat was asking, is this again coming from the left? If what this FBI agent just reported to us is true, and the shooter was putting anti-ICE messages on the bullet casings or on the bullets or whatever the case is, then it would be, in my opinion, a left-sided thing again. And what they reported, guys, what I've heard is that the suspect was on a roof, and I heard that he had shot at a van. And James, I'm going to get back to your comment. James trying to say anti-ICE is not left. Anti-ICE is definitely left. Please, bro. Please. But the suspected shooter apparently was on a roof shooting out into, I believe, a van. And I'm just guessing here. My guess is that this person was not aware of who was in the van, because a lot of times these vans have tinted windows, and probably thought those were ICE agents in the van, and was shooting into the van blindly, thinking that he's going to get ICE agents, and got, unfortunately, well, either way it's unfortunate, but got to detainees instead, 2 of which are reported to be dead and 1 injured. And again, none of this information got confirmed, other than that there was a shooting. There's no law enforcement injured, and that the bullets were anti-ICE. The writing on the bullets were anti-ICE in nature. His opinion, and who is he? Some guy on YouTube spreading BS. Tyrone. Yeah, I'm just telling you what I've been hearing on these reports. So take it for what it is. LOL, your opinion. It could be a family member of someone detained. Not sure what you're talking about. Sounds like Tyrone is pretty far out there. But I mean, you're just like trying to figure out exactly what I think in my head. I can tell you what I think. You can ask me and I'll tell you. James again says anti-ICE does not necessarily mean left. If you're from America and if you're aware of what's going on around us right now and what's happening in the news and everything else, yes, anti-ICE is very much the left. You are the problem. I would say, Tyrone, you are the problem. My opinion is exactly my opinion. I didn't say I 100% know this. I said my opinion. That's all it is. That's why we're here. We're here to talk about this. We're here to look at the news and discuss this. Let's see what else. What else can we talk of with substance? Because Tyrone doesn't have any substance, just finger pointing. Let's take. And you reach people on YouTube. You're a part of. No, I'm part of the solution. I'm talking to you guys. I'm talking to people. We're having a discussion. This is called debate. This is called discussion. This is called dialogue. That's not a problem. It's people like you that think us talking is a problem. We're talking. We're having a debate. Not even debate. We're having dialogue. We're really just talking. We heard the news, and now we're talking about it. That's how this works. If you have a problem with that, you're part of the problem. Randy Ferris, this happened at around 6:40 in the morning, Dallas time, Dallas, Texas. Yeah, so guys, again, it looks like so they just came out and spoke, and they said that the writing on the bullet casings, I believe, are anti-ICE in nature. And I'm going to rewind that just so you guys can all see that, those of you that are just joining. Ready? Let's see if it's right. I think it's right about here.
I can also share with you is that early evidence that we've seen from rounds that were found near the suspected shooter contain messages that are anti-ICE in nature. Again, this is just the most recent example of this type of attack. This will be a whole of government response. There will be no resource not utilized to bring all those individuals who are responsible to bring them to justice and to hold them accountable. While we're not releasing identities of any victims at this time, what I can confirm for you is no members of law enforcement were hurt during the.
Yeah, to Bull, thank you. She says medication is right, debate is healthy for society. Yeah, so for those of you like Tyrone that are saying that somehow I'm wrong for talking to you guys about stuff, you're part of the problem, man. We're talking, that's what we do. We talk, we discuss, we have dialogue. That's how it goes. Let's see here, Mia. Tyrone, actually this chat is a pretty flex. I'm saying not with Mia. There, yep. I'm an independent and am anti-ICE. Yeah, Mike, you realize independents are the smallest population of our country, and you understand that independents, for the most part, shared a little bit of both sides, and sometimes, and so you're cutting that small slice of independents into a smaller slice, who are anti-ICE. Okay, so I'm an independent and am anti-ICE. Yeah, so you're anti-ICE, but most what we've seen out here is that the anti-ICE is very much left, coming from the left. And I here's another independent. I am independent also. Let's hear his spin. Yeah, independent means you have no backbone and don't even know your own beliefs. Yeah, so yeah, if you say you're an independent, it's also good to say how you feel and what your stance is. Tyrone still hasn't given that. And understand why anyone would be anti-ICE. Yeah. Again, pro-ICE is very much right side and anti-ICE is very much left side. And so that's why you're going to see a lot of, this is obviously going to be, reference to the left, big time. I'm going to look for some more recent information here. Let me see what these guys are saying.
Moving from that into the research and planning, where they're starting to figure out what they want to do, the actions that they take in furtherance of that plan, right? Then there's the breach. I'm putting this plan into motion. I'm going into the location where I've chosen. And then we see the actual action that takes place there. The other thing is that, thinking about how social media plays into all of this, we really have a lot of these shooters that are in their own echo chamber, where they're not looking for any information that will dissuade them from what they've already decided is true. It's very dangerous, and we see this environment is becoming the norm, right? The echo chamber, where we're not looking for other information or anything that differs from the ideas that we currently have. And so this is part of the reason why you're seeing an increase in.
So guys, what he's saying is exactly my point. Is we are discussing this, and I'm happy to talk to people that are on the opposite side. So no bad dogs. I'm not upset at Blobby or Tyrone or anyone else. I actually prefer to talk to people about this stuff. When we put ourselves in echo chambers and don't do that is when we have a problem. And I'm going to say the same thing about you guys, about Tyrone, Blobby, and anybody else. I think Litness as well. The fact that you guys are obviously not in your own echo chamber right now in this chat and on my video, and you're happily having dialogue with us, shows that you're also hopefully doing what we're doing, and you're not in your own echo chamber. You're having open dialogue with the other side. So that's the whole point. So we got to just give each other, pat on the back for that, and give each other props for that. We're talking to each other about it. and we should be okay with that. But I think what the FBI said, yeah, good, Tyrone. That's healthy. That's what we should be doing. Yeah. But I think what what is this? Oh. Let me see. Let me pull this in. These are shell casings. These are bullet rounds. Trying to zoom in on that. And I think it says anti-ice. Or is that what it says? These may be the bullet casings or the rounds. Guys, these may be the rounds. I think it does say anti-ice. Let's listen in.
Attorney General Pam Bondi made a statement initially kind of providing the details that we had just kind of had coming in, very preliminary, but then she posted this statement right here saying federal agents from the FBI and ATF headquarters are on the scene of the shooting at the Dallas ICE field office. We stand ready to assist our partners at DHS, pray for the victims of this heinous act, and for our brave law enforcement officers. Again, we are going to keep all over this as we continue to gather the right now what I want to Cash Patel. We're also getting some other reaction coming in from officials all over the country here, not just locally there in Dallas, Texas, but also Attorney General Pam Bondi over the comment from Cash Patel, the director of the FBI. And those are pictures of the bullets there that he says were used. And that's there on the left-hand side of your screen. But he said this morning, just before 7 a.m. local time, an individual fired multiple rounds at a Dallas, Texas ICE facility, killing one, wounding several others before taking his own life. FBI, DHS, ATF are on the ground with Dallas PD and state authorities while the investigation is ongoing. An initial review of the evidence shows an ideological motive behind the attack. He said, see that photo? One of the unspent shell casings recovered was engraved with the phrase anti-ICE. More updates will be forthcoming. These despicable, politically motivated attacks against law enforcement are not a one-off. We are only miles from an area in Texas where just 2 months ago, an individual ambushed a separate ICE facility targeting their officers. It has to end, and the FBI and our partners will lead these investigative efforts to see to it that those who target our law enforcement are pursued and brought to the fullest.
Us safe, and we should not be putting language out there that inspires madmen to commit evil crimes. Our prayers are with the men and women of law enforcement, and we ought to come together and have some decency across the political aisle to say this violence is wrong and it needs to stop.
Senator, have you been told that immigrant detainees were the victims of today's shooting?
My understanding is the details of who the victims are still being ascertained, so I don't want to go ahead of law enforcement releasing these.
Tyrone, who called? Are you talking about me calling you out?
Law enforcement was injured, and
Tyrone?
so that's a natural inference, but I don't know the details.
So I'm not going to go into any more details at this time. We will come back to you when we have more details to share. Again, our goal here will be transparency as those details become available. But we are still in the early stages of an investigation.
Tyrone, you're saying that I singled you out. I didn't single you out. If you remember, you came at me first, and you were saying how, who is this guy talking? Who is he? Who is he to say whatever you were saying about me? I didn't single you out. You singled me out. Remember that? Come on, man. Be honest with yourself. I did not single you out.
Certainly you can respect law enforcement's need to make notifications. At this point in time, we're not going to take any additional questions from law enforcement. Again, I'd ask for you to respect the fact that this is an ongoing investigation, and as more details come available, I understand. The only thing I can say right now is no law enforcement was injured this morning as part of the attack. I won't be taking any more questions, neither will law enforcement this time. We'll come back to you later today.
So other than law enforcement,
You called this a targeted attack.
So, a couple things. First of all, that
Your feelings were hurt. No, man, I'm a grown man, and I'm less than my feelings. I'm more mechanical and logical. My feelings were not hurt. I was just responding to you, and then you say that I'm singling you out. But no, you singled me out, trying to say, who is this guy? He has a YouTube channel and he thinks he knows. And no, I gave you my opinion. And we're having open dialogue. That's what we do, bro. And then you want to make it like I'm singling you out. You're just playing victim, bro, the whole time. You're just a victim. Just quit it, bro. Stop, man. You don't need to be a victim. Just chat with us. Just talk to us. Here's the bullets. It's wide open, bro. Everybody from all over the aisle are in the chat. You can talk to people from the left and the right and independents, obviously. It's wide open, bro. Go for it. Chat with anyone you want. Here are the unspent bullets.
Patel says these despicable, politically motivated attacks against law enforcement are not a one-off. We are only miles from Prairie Land, Texas, where just 2 months ago an individual ambushed a separate ICE facility targeting their officers. It has to end, and the FBI and our partners will lead these investigative efforts to see to it that those who target our law enforcement are pursued and brought to the fullest extent of justice.
I'm going to rewind this.
The phrase anti-ICE. More updates will be forthcoming. Director Patel says these despicable, politically motivated attacks against law enforcement are not a one-off. We are only miles from Prairie Land, Texas, where just 2 months ago an individual ambushed a separate ICE facility targeting their officers. It has to end, and the FBI and our partners will lead these investigative efforts to see to it that those who target our law enforcement are pursued and brought to the fullest extent of justice. Thankfully, no law enforcement personnel were injured. Please pray for the injured and deceased. Multiple outlets report, by the way, that the people shot were all detainees, which makes sense given that they weren't law enforcement. But officials have not confirmed they were detainees, and they did not confirm it in the press conference that they were detainees. But they did confirm no law enforcement was shot. So that is the picture of what Kash Patel says is one of the unspent shell casings engraved with the phrase anti-ICE. Oh, hold on a second here. Give me a moment. Give me one moment. Give me one moment.
Of the questions in this, and we want to kind of go back to that, play that again, so we kind of get an update.
Let me start off by saying that
not that guy. This guy was not. He was way too slow, and he had really nothing to say.
I haven't seen.
Okay. So I'm just going through the different feeds that I have here and trying to pull in the most recent, anything recent that's coming up on it right now. So hang tight. I'm trying to find something else as well. All right. Red, it was trans Tifa. That's the first time I've heard that word, trans Tifa. That's the first time I've heard that. Yeah, Daniel says I'm using that one. Yeah, I've never heard that. That's actually the first time I've ever heard that word. Trans Tifa, guys. Trans Tifa. That's creative. That's creative. I gotta hand it to you guys. That's good. Okay, so so guys, we have three. Why is this changed up on us here? We have three detainees at an ICE office shot, two of which are reported to be deceased, one of which is injured. That's what we know so far. We also have a suspected shooter on a roof found dead due to a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And what you're looking at are the unspent the bullets. This is what they call, this is a full clip. This is 5 bullets in a clip. And this clip contains 5 bullets, of which one of the bullets says anti-ice. What we've heard is that this person was shooting at who, of course, we can't confirm this, but he was shooting at a van, and they are assuming that he was shooting at the van, thinking there's ICE agents in the van, when in fact there were detainees in the van. I can't confirm that, but that's what's been reported in some places, but not confirmed. Let's see here. Weirdos, mentally unstable. Yeah. What does the trans word mean? I like Queen Latifah better. Let's see. Tyrone is coming back. Did you think that up all on your own, or did your dad help you? Who are you talking to, and what are you talking about? Why would they write it on the second bullet? Tyrone, did you just wake up and decide to try to heckle? Yeah, Tyrone is like trolling in a way. It has something negative to say about every single word that comes out of my mouth and everyone else's. I'm waiting for Tyrone to just talk to us like a normal human for a minute, for 1 minute. Daniel says he's upset some dude actually has a dad. Tyrone's mad at me. He's mad at Cash Patel. And now I am singling Tyrone out because he singled me out right away. Came right at me just for having dialogue. This is the bullet casing, or the bullet. Well, that is a casing of the bullet that's written on there, right there. Yeah, Tyrone, we can just be, we're just talking, bro. Honestly, no bad dogs. We're just having dialogue. What do you guys think about all this? Let me ask. Let's put let's put it in this way. If this is the real bullet casing and this is the suspected shooter's bullet casing and it's anti-ICE and the suspect was trying to shoot ICE officers and missed and hit detainees and the suspect is from the left, what does that make you guys feel? And we'll look at it the other way around too. But first, what does that make you feel? If this is someone from the left again, and they were targeting ICE officers, what do you guys think? Daniel's asking why that round. What do you mean by why that round? I'm curious. I think I'd like to see the other side of that clip to see if any other bullets had any writing on it that had any different writing. Maybe they're showing just one side. Maybe they didn't move it because this is part of evidence and they want to just, that's the picture they got while it was there. On commenter said it was significant. Oh, I don't know why that would be significant that it was the second one. If that's what your question is, I don't know. But I'm just looking at this and trying to like figure out what happened here. I think this has become a theme, like they write their thoughts or their intentions or their feelings on these bullet casings, obviously because they want someone to read it and see a message. You don't typically write these on there for yourself. You write it for someone else to see. It's usually a message, in my opinion. And I don't know if there is a significance as to why it's the second bullet. I don't know if there is. I'm reading your comments here. As someone who has been moderate for some time, I feel like the last 2 weeks is forcing me to pick a side. You can't be in the middle anymore. There isn't a middle. Blobby says politics is team sports. You can't say your favorite team is all sides, is all of them. It's an interesting take on it. I'll give you guys a little information about myself. I was very recently, I was on the left. And I was on the left my whole life. And I was on the left my whole life. I could openly say this. And I didn't vote for Trump the first time, but I voted for him the second time. And that's how recent that I was on the left. Actually, I was on the left right up until the second Trump election. I was indoctrinated to the left ever since I was a kid. I'm born and raised here in Southern California, and just being in the school system and growing up in the public schools and around, just, I guess, this kind of local area, it's what you kind of absorb. You just become a Democrat. Unless there's some strong forces that make you oppose it. So I was very much a Democrat my whole life. Actually, like very Democratic my whole life. Tabul says Clinton is why I'm not Dem, Bush Jr. is why I'm not Republican. Kevin O'Brien is asking me what made you change. I'll tell you what exactly made me change. There's multiple things, but there's one thing that's the main reason that made me change. Some of the reasons that made me change were obviously these debates that I saw, and I saw, Charlie Kirk, and I saw all these other guys. I saw, who else was it? I'll tell you the name in a minute. The guy from Canada. That was Jordan Peterson. He made me think a lot. I was journaling a lot. He made me sit down and think, and I used my own brain, and I started forming my own thoughts about this stuff. But the biggest reason that I changed from the left to the right very recently, and you'll see how recent this was, it was when they came out and said specifically that Twitter was being not controlled, but it was being forced by the Biden administration. So Biden pushed on the FBI, and the FBI forced Twitter to censor, not just Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. And I'll actually put this on the screen. And this is what made me change. The FBI forced Instagram and Facebook, and we now know Twitter, to suppress true information that was helping the right, and remove and suspend and delete accounts of people that were telling the truth on the right. And that, to me, went against the very fundamental thing that made me a Democrat. And Tyrone's asking me if I'm religious. No, I'm not very religious, if you're asking me. As a Democrat, my very first, most important thing to me was freedom of speech, and freedom of press, and all that kind of stuff. And then when I found out that it was true, that I'm going to put the letter on, because Zuckerberg openly admits this, and he admitted this on multiple podcasts, and he wrote an actual letter that stated that his companies, Meta, including Facebook and Instagram, were being forced by the FBI to suppress true information on the right and to promote false information on the left. And they were being forced to delete accounts and deactivate accounts and suppress accounts that were pushing real, true information. That for me was like a breaking point. That for me was like, whoa. And then as soon as that happened, it like ripple. It was a ripple. It just, all of a sudden I went in and started digging and looking. And then I did a search. I already knew, I was like, okay, wow, this is insane. Then I did a search on Google, because there was elections happening with Trump and Kamala Harris. And here was an interesting thing. This was wild. I would search for Trump rallies and Google, and it would be all Kamala. And I would search for Trump, speeches when he was giving a speech, not just a rally, just a speech or anything about Trump, and it would be Kamala. And I did this on not just my computer. I would clear out my cache. I would clear out my cookies. I would clear out my everything. I would go to my phone, other people's phones, other people's accounts, other people's things, and I would do these searches. And it was like heavily left-sided. And once I went down that rabbit hole, I found out that, dude, they were literally doing what they say the right does. They were calling the right fascist. They were calling the right, that they were saying the right was against freedom of speech. And it was actually the left. And they were literally forcing Zuckerberg to do that. they literally were forcing Zuckerberg to censor and to suppress true information that was on the right. Kevin says, do you see the right as having similar censorship efforts or only the left? I see, here's what I see with the right and the left. I see, let me pull up this thing while I'm going to try to talk while I'm pulling this up. I see the right having more dialogue and being more more willing to have discussion with people with opposing views. And that's why you see a lot of people on the right side that have opposing views. I don't see the right as suppressing and forcing suppression of freedom of speech. I see the right as voicing their opinions about what they think. People say Donald Trump is suppressing freedom of speech and Donald Trump is the one that got Jimmy Kimmel canceled. And to that, I say, if that's the case, think about this, guys. If Donald Trump is the reason why Jimmy Kimmel was canceled, Donald Trump has been talking about his opinion about Jimmy Kimmel and all of these talk shows for years. Why didn't they get canceled then? Why didn't they get canceled then? I'm pulling up this Zuckerberg letter, guys, so you can see it. Litness. Let's talk about Kimmel. I just did. Yeah. So people that say Kimmel got canceled because of the right, because of Donald Trump, not true, in my opinion. If that's the case, a lot of these guys would have gotten canceled a long time ago. Donald Trump has been talking about fake news over 10 years ago, guys. Or 10 years ago at least. And he's been talking about his opinion about talk show hosts and all these guys and all these media outlets and everything for years and going hard. Why didn't they get canceled before? Because it's not Trump. Jimmy Kimmel got canceled because the networks that paid him money wanted him off. And here's another thing, guys. Here's another thing you should be aware of. Jimmy Kimmel was in the hole millions and millions of dollars this year alone. Last year, they were negative. They lost millions of dollars. This year, they lost double digits millions of dollars. Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel is back, and in my opinion, what he said was the way a loser talks when someone gets assassinated and you come out and talk the way you did. In my opinion, that's a loser talking like that. You can have your opinion, and my opinion is you're a loser. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel's is allowed to have his opinion. He didn't say truth. Actually, he said the opposite of truth. He was inferring the opposite of what happened. Jimmy Kimmel was inferring the opposite of what happened. Yeah, now we got lefties going nuts on my channel. It's okay. I want to talk about this stuff, so that's good. Let me pull up the Zuckerberg letter. Okay. I got it. I have the letter. I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to put it on the whole thing. Tibble, yeah. Thank you. I agree. I disagree with Jimmy Kimmel, and I have the ability to disagree with him. I can say what I want just like he can, bro. Like, that's how it works. It is what it is. I'm pulling up the Zuckerberg letter, guys. And where are we at here? Here we go. I'm going to read this to you guys in case you can't see it on your screen. I'll make it smaller so you can see the whole thing. If you guys haven't seen this yet, and you guys ask me, why did you go from the left to the right? This is why. Okay. So this is nice and large. Let me adjust it a little more. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. So you guys want to know why I went from the left to the right? It was very recent. Look at this letter. Look at this letter. Blobby, check out this letter before you dip. Check out this letter. I'm going to read this to you guys. Ready? Okay. In a separate, this is Zuckerberg writing this letter, and he talks about this on multiple podcasts. So you guys can search Zuckerberg podcast talking about, censorship. He says here, the FBI warned us about a potential Russian disinformation operation about the Biden family and Burisma in the lead up to the 2020 election. That fall, when we saw a New York Post story reporting on corruption allegations involving then Democratic President nominee Joe Biden's family, we sent that story to fact checkers for review and temporarily demoted it while waiting for a reply. It's since been made clear that the reporting was not Russian disinformation. And in retrospect, we shouldn't have demoted the story. We've changed our policies. And this is what he's responding to. You want me to zoom out? You want to? Yeah, it's hard to read this thing. Let me see if it'll. Let me see. Would this help you? Like that? So it says here in 2021, listen to this, guys. You ready? Listen to this. Oh, you know what? This might not be the one. No, this is the one. Respectfully, you see down here where it says Mark Zuckerberg. This is the letter from Mark Zuckerberg, and Jim Jordan is the one that presented Zuckerberg's letter. That's just how that works. So check this out. You can search this. This is something I found. This is widely available, and you can search for Zuckerberg podcast censorship, and you'll see he goes on multiple podcasts and talks about this himself. I'm going to read it to you. Check this out. And this is Zuckerberg writing this letter, okay, about Meta, about Instagram and Facebook. It says, in 2021, senior officials from the Biden administration, including the White House, repeatedly pressured our teams for months to censor certain COVID-19 content, including humor and satire, and expressed a lot of frustration with our teams when we didn't agree. Sorry. Ultimately, it was our decision whether or not to take content down, and we own our decisions, including COVID-19 related changes we made to our enforcement in the wake of this pressure. I believe the government pressure was wrong, and I regret that we were not more outspoken about it. I also think we made some choices that, with the benefit of hindsight and new information, we wouldn't make today. Like I said to our teams at the time, I feel strongly that we should not compromise our content standards due to pressure from any administration in either direction. And we're ready to push back if something like this happens again. In a separate situation, the FBI warned us about potential Russian disinformation operation about Biden family and Burisma in the lead up to the 2020 election. That fall, when we saw a New York Post story reporting on corruption allegations involving then Democrat presidential nominee Joe Biden's family, we sent that story to fact checkers for review and temporarily demoted it while we were waiting for a reply. It has since been made clear that the reporting was not Russian disinformation, and in retrospect, we shouldn't have demoted the story. We've changed our policies and process to make sure this doesn't happen again. For instance, we no longer temporarily demote things in the U.S. while waiting for fact checkers. Apart from content moderation, I want to address the contributions I made during the. Okay. So, guys, that was a major reason that was like the nail in the coffin for why I changed. This letter is available. Well, it's Facebook and Instagram. It's Facebook and Instagram. Mia, you're absolutely right. Zuck did state this publicly. You can search, the whole internet is full of Zuckerberg speaking out about Biden making them censor true information. That literally happened. I think it's hypocritical, but it's something that surprised me. You can type whatever you want and let the mods sort it out. Hate speech, I don't think should be censored. I think hate speech is subjective, and you're allowed to feel, how you want about something as a human. It doesn't make you right just because you chose to feel a certain way. Hate speech to one person is not the same to another person. You're allowed to feel how you want to feel. I hate crocs, snakes, and spiders. Hindsight, man. My favorite superhero and hindsight man. 3 sidekicks. Could've, should've, and would've. Tyrone, I think she's talking about crocodiles, bro. Or is it Crocs the shoes? Maybe it is the shoes. Maybe it is. What do you guys think if I here's something that I was gonna start doing. I'm just curious what you guys think. Do you guys think it would be cool if I opened up a phone line that you guys can call in and you guys can we can have an open conversation, like with your voice, and you could just boom 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 talk? What do you guys think about that? Would you guys be down? Let me ask you this. If I did open up a phone line and said, hey, by the way, here's a phone line, you can call right now and talk, would you guys do that? Would any of you guys call? Yeah, radio show style. Yes, you would. Aquariums and Friends, you would do that? Blobby, see you later, buddy. Thanks for joining, man. I know you got to go. Thanks for joining and being part of our dialogue. Even if you don't agree with me, man, it's all good. No sweat whatsoever. And same with Litness. No sweat. Aquariums, you would call. So if right now I was able to put you on the phone, you would call me and we'll talk. What would you want to talk about? Litness, you might be down. I'd be down since you're on the opposite side. I'd love to hear your perspective. I have the ability to take phone calls and do that. I have a pretty good system I have set up here. So I pretty much have like a full-blown studio set up. And I can do that. I can bring you in, patch you in on my phone. I just don't want to give people my phone number, so I got to get in like another line. Aquariums, I love it, man. And aquariums, do you follow me because of my fish aquarium stuff that I post? These guys don't know about my aquarium stuff. Maybe you do. Is that why you follow me? Is because of my aquarium stuff initially? Aquarium says literally anything. I work in aviation. We debate all topics almost every day. I love that. I do have Google Voice, and it's not free. I pay for Google Voice for my businesses. I have a Google Voice for both of my. I have multiple. I have more than 3 businesses, but for 2 of them, I pay for it. Oh, aquariums, bro! I have them right here. You guys want to see my aquariums? You want me to show it to you? Check this out. I'll show you. Oh, sorry. Here's my audio. My audio's back. Sorry, guys. This is my aquarium. Yeah, it's a guppy tank. I got guppies. I got Cory cat. I got Corys. I got plecos. I got all kinds of stuff in there. Yeah. I got multiple fish tanks in my office here with me. You guys will learn more about me as time goes, but this is just a little sneak peek here. Let me see if I can zoom in even more. That's a 10-gallon tank. No tetras. No tetras. But I have baby. So these are my baby guppies that are growing up. And these guys literally, they're not even full grown yet. They already had their own babies in there. So I literally have little tiny little babies that just were born in there. Have you ever gone into killifish? I've been assessed past 2 years. I got to check them out. I haven't been into killifish. But that's one tank. I'll show you another tank. You want to trip out? I have a crazy. What side the fish on? What side the fish on? They're on the same account. You can see on my account. On my same. I post all kinds of stuff. You want to see my other tank? Here's my other tank. It's right next to. And you guys are learning about me. Oh shoot, you're zoomed into me right now. Holy cow. That was gross. Okay, so by the way, this is the book I'm reading. Okay. Killifish and licorice gouramis. I had gouramis. They're aggressive. They were just too aggressive. And I know some can be not aggressive, but they were just too aggressive. I have another fish that's really aggressive, and I'm going to show you right now. I have a really aggressive fish. He's crazy. I have a crazy, crazy fish. Watch this. Jason, are you asking about my fish? Oh, I have fish on both sides. I have fish behind me on my left. So my tank is right here. That's behind me to my left. That's my fish tank right there. Okay. That's one fish tank right there with the guppies in it. And then I got this tank right here. It's going to be hard for me to show you because this is just all live and it's hard to zoom in. This is my office, guys. And check this out. Let me see if I can show you guys. You guys ready for this? Look at this. Look at this. This guy right here is nuts, by the way. Just so you know. This guy, his name is Sherby. What's up, dude? This guy's is Sherby. And Sherby is a beta, and he is nuts. Yeah. He will literally jump out of the water to grab food. And here he is right here. This right here is Sherby in all his glory. And he is one of the coolest fish. I named him Sherby because he has like sherbet colors. He's gorgeous. Kind of like Kirby. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And if you want to see him jump out of the water to get food, he's nuts. He's beautiful. If you see him in like, I have I'm a photographer too. And so I take photos. I have a picture of Sherby that's insane. I'm going to feed him right now. You guys will see him jump out of the water, grab food. I'm telling you, he's nuts. He's completely nuts. And he gets mad sometimes if I feed him without letting him jump because he likes to jump. Watch this. Let me zoom in a little more. Watch this. Watch this. So I put the food on the end of this Q-tip. Look at this. He checks it out. He looks at the food right here on this Q-tip. And then look at him. He's already going crazy. And then I bring it up here. And watch. He'll literally jump out of that water. Here he goes. Oh, Sherby, bro. Damn, look at that. Look at Sherby go, dude. Oh my God. Sherby, that was a good one. Here's another one. Let's do another one. Sometimes he grabs a piece of this Q-tip and he like starts ripping on it. Here we go. Oh, you guys are going to like this other thing I got. I have an eco tank that I created out of nothing, no filter, nothing. You guys could all do it. Watch this. Here he goes. I'm holding it a little high up. I'm like way above the water. See if he'll go for it. He's still swallowing the last piece I gave him. Here, I'll bring it close to feed him. Oh! Fucking Sherby's crazy, bro. He's crazy. All right, you guys want to see the eco tank? I'll show you the eco tank. So that's Sherby right there. That is Sherby, like Kirby. And I got to get this set back up here. Yeah, aquariums. He's super happy and he's nuts, man. He really he's enjoying life, bro. I gave him his whole big ass tank to himself, all natural plants. Everything's great. Trip out on this, you guys. And trip out on this. And now we're doing show and tell. You guys are learning about me. You guys ready for this? Check this out. This is a jar from the kitchen. We just had an extra jar. This is like a spice jar or rice jar or something. And I decided to put some sand in it, some soil and some sand. And I put a couple plants and it grew into this. This is an eco jar. And if you look, you have Pinky in there. He's one of my baby guppies. And he's literally swimming around in there. He's coming to your side now. There he is. He just went by your screen. So that's Pinky in there. And he lives in this eco tank. And you can see how big this eco tank is. I have really big hands. And it is like the size of my hand. If you see that, that's how big this is. It's not that big at all. It's a beautiful little, you see that? This is my hand up on there. And this is just a little jar. And I got floating plants up top with the roots going down. And then I got the plants that are growing in from the bottom. You could see all that right there in all its glory. Yep. Hi, Annalise. We were just watching the news, and now I'm doing show and tell on my office, and showing we had aquarium pull up, and I have literally 3 aquariums here, and so this is my eco tank that I just created. I just put water in here with some soil and sand. I have this sand that I got from my home. I have another home in Lake Arrowhead, California. I got dirt from there. I put plants in here and they just grew, and it turned into this whole ecosystem. There's no filter, no nothing. There is who I call Pinky in here. He was the smallest of his brothers and sisters. They're guppies. You guys just, his age, the baby. I think he's like 4 months old. And his brothers and sisters are in this tank over here. His brothers and sisters are in this tank over here. And they're all bigger than him. He was the smallest of the litter, so I put him in this small eco tank. And then you guys saw Sherby. So, let's see. Also have a tegu, crocodile skinks, flying geckos. Wow, you got a lot, bro. 3 types of dart frogs, which are really cool. Glass frogs I've never seen. Dumples, Florida king snakes. And you have all that, bro? You have all of that? Wow. 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 Guys, we started a live and we're 3 hours into it. We talked about the the live events that happened at the ICE facility, at the ICE office in Dallas, Texas. And then we went into politics. We went into why I went from the left to the right. And then we went into the letter from Zuckerberg and Zuckerberg coming out openly speaking about the fact that Joe Biden and Joe Biden's FBI was forcing them to suppress real information. And then we went into show and tell. I was showing you guys my fish because aquariums popped up in my feed. I thought he followed me because of my aquarium content, because I posted content about my aquariums. But we just happened to run into each other. It's good to meet you, buddy. Or I don't know if you're a guy or a girl, but you got a lot of animals. That's really cool. Litness. Litness is saying, if you want to scroll up, hello. I was asking earlier, who do you think wins 2028, and now what are you main voter issues you care about? I think there will be a major discussion about freedom of speech, even though we have it here more than in any other country. I think we're gonna have a situation where we want to make sure that not only do we have freedom of speech, but we also understand what that means, and we're not trying to hurt each other over it. Aquarium says, I am a male, identify as a male, and will always be male. I am this mystical thing known as a man. Aquariums, so am I. I agree with you, and I am this rare thing these days called a male, a man. I'm a real man. Litness is asking, Litness is asking, let me put the chat back up so you guys can see that. Let me put that chat back up. Litness is asking, guys, this is the bullet, obviously. Litness is asking, you guys are funny, bro. Do you own guns in California? I know lots of questions. I'm very much a Second Amendment. I believe in the Second Amendment. And yes, lots of us own guns in America. Even in California. People will be surprised how many people in California own guns. Legally, of course. The 2028 election, I think, will be, my guess is it's going to be someone on the right side that wins that election. Because the Democrats have yet to, admit that the way they're running their own elections, forget about whether you agree with their policies or not, and forget about what you think about mine and about yours. Forget about all that. In general, Democrats lost the last election in a big way, and they haven't changed course in any way. So I don't see, there's no light at the end of that tunnel right now. And the stuff that they're doing at the moment is continuing in the same path they were going during the last election. Do you think about moving to a red state? I have never considered moving out of California because I love California so much. However, recently seeing people successfully move to Florida, I've thought about it. But not once have I said, oh yeah, that's what I want to do. No. I love California, and if anything, I'd be more willing to get involved in California to make changes in California rather than move out. Rizzy Doll, it's terribly hard to be a gun owner in California. I lived in SoCal for 25 years, but moved out back in 2013. I don't agree. I don't know if it's terribly hard. I think it's just harder. It's not as easy, but yeah. Okay, Tabul says, if a Republican wins in 2028, I'd be too concerned they would be really complacent riding off of the coattails of Trump's success. Let me read that again. I'd be too concerned they would be really complacent riding off the coattail. And how would they be complacent, and in what way would that type of complacency be concerning? A lot of people say that Charlie Kirk could have been a lot of people say that Charlie Kirk could have been a president if he wanted to. Here's a question. Medication, have you heard the new concealed carry law in California? No, I have not. Medication, I would be concerned they would be proactive in their presidency and not do much. Proactive? Oh, they wouldn't be proactive. Got it. They wouldn't be proactive. Yeah, that's an interesting take on it. President Trump is very active, and we want to keep the action going. So that's a legit thing to think about. Can you tell me more about what you're saying about the concealed carry laws in California? I'm curious about that. Aquarium says, I feel like following Trump, you would have to continue what he tried to do in a less egotistical way. I feel like following Trump, you would have to continue what you tried to do in a less egotistical way. We would need someone like Scott Bessent. Interesting. Mia says, I hate guns, but I think I have to now. You have to what? Litness says, what could the Dems do to win you back in a big way? Any qualms about Trump that Dems could fix to actually win your vote? Dude, there's so many. The funny part is you had Republicans going on live TV and on podcasts saying exactly what we all knew would hurt the Republican Party and would help the Democratic Party. There's so many. Mia says, I am in a course to carry one. Again, Mia, you're in I say Holland, but you say practice, name a few. God, why am I blanking on your country's name? Holland. I'll just say Holland. You're in Holland, right? Netherlands. So you're Netherlands. I didn't know they do that. Gun in the Netherlands, you have to take a course. I didn't know that. That's interesting. That's good to hear about Netherlands. Guys, so if I had a phone, you guys would phone in. I think I should do that. I think I should get a phone set up and have you guys phone in. Let me see if I can find a number that I might have. Is there a number I have that you guys could call in on? Hunting, carrying, and safekeeping. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know you could do that. Number one thing that them could then okay, so on Instagram they're saying, so if you guys can't see this on Instagram, but Rizzy Doll is saying number one thing the Dems would need to learn is what a woman is. Okay, so Litness. Okay, so I got two things that I want to talk about. So one is what Democrats can do to win Republicans over, or to maybe have a better chance at winning an election. Rizzy Doll says here that Dems would need to learn what a woman is. I think that's one of the biggest things that Democrats could do is figure out this whole situation with gender. Definitely. Get one of those apps for generating phone number and find a way for us to DM you our number so you can calls from random generated numbers. Okay. What if I had you call me on my Instagram? How about that? You could call me on my Instagram. You guys want to do that real quick? You guys want to try that? Aquarium, you want to try to call me on my Instagram? And I'll see if I can put that live. I wonder if that would work. I don't have Instagram or any social media besides YouTube. Mia, you want to try that for now? We're going to hear your voice. And then I'll do this in future live streams. I'll start tapping you guys in. And you guys could jump in. And guys, I've had to use a restroom for I don't know how long. I'm just holding it. Aquarium, yeah, definitely try. Let's try it. I'm down. Rizzy Doll says stop child mutilation. Are you referring to circumcision? Or what are you referring to? Litness, as a Trump supporter, how do you reconcile voting for someone who has so many publicly visible accounts of him saying very bad things about women? Since you bring it up, are the comments he'd say okay? Litness, I think what Democrats are constantly not able to understand is that we're okay with people having opinions, and we're okay with people being human, and that's, I think, what Democrats have continued to go away from. We love the fact that Trump is human. We love that about him. We love that Trump is human. The way he talks, we relate to it. We understand it. He's a normal person. You know, he's not some like just fake politician saying whatever you want him to say. The transgender stuff and circumcision. Yeah. Okay. That's what I got you. He's a man first. Yeah. You guys want to call in on my Instagram? Instacall works fine. I've seen. Let me know if you guys want to call in on my Instagram. I'll put you on if you want. Wouldn't know how that works, but I've seen it before calling via Insta. Go to my DMs, drop me a DM, and then in the DM, hold on, I have to follow you back. I have to follow you back. And I'm going to show our DM, so don't write anything bad in the DM. And here's my phone, guys. I'm going to pull my phone in. Here's my phone. This is my Instagram. Let me make my Let me make my picture smaller. Here's my phone. Here's my Instagram. I wouldn't know. So Mia, let me follow you back since you're following me, I think. Where's Mia? Okay. Oh, I just lost my phone again. Let me go to my phone. Okay, so you're going to see it's hard for me to find you guys. It's easier if you just followed me. I get so many notifications, as you can see. Let me see if I can go to my follows. There you are, Zach. Follow back. Okay. And then Mia, can you send me a DM? And let's see if I can go to my messages. And if I go to requests, this is where people make threats against me, by the way. You'll see threats against me in these DMs, by the way. And I'm not going to pull it up because some of them are pretty bad. So Zach, can you DM me, send me a message? 12 stories mention me. Mia, I did follow you. Also send a chat. You sent me a chat? Okay, so here's the messages. Mia, I don't see your it would be here somewhere. Here's Zach. It's Aquarium from YouTube. Okay, guys, so here we go. Let's try this. Oh no, it got disconnected. Let me try it again. Why is my phone doing this? Okay. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 sec. Oh, it is on the phone, but it doesn't let me do the okay, it won't let me connect like that. Let me try a different way. Hang tight with me, Zach. Hang tight with me. Hang on 1 second, Zach. I'm going to try something else. I have to do something else here. Okay, so if I go here. I gotta find how to do this on the system. This is a different system here. Okay, 1 second. Discoverable. Okay, 1 second, Zach. Sorry, I'm connecting my system here. Okay. Zach, are you there? Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Guys, can you guys hear Zach now?
I had to turn my YouTube phone off because I could hear you on both.
Oh, sweet. Dude, this good to hear your voice. This is cool. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
do more of this, man. This is very
This
cool.
would be a good way to discuss things, especially with the people that disagree with you in the chat, as long as, you know, they keep it PG.
Yeah, that's definitely what we would have to do for sure. That's the hard part about what I'm doing is it could quickly go off the rails, but this is
You probably, to cover your backside, you'd probably need to, when you do the DM thing, first set like ground rules of one strike and you're out. If you violate any of these rules, you're
okay.
gone.
Yeah.
That would probably cover you. That way, if something does happen and you get reported, you can be like, "Hey, they agreed to the terms before I called them, and then they violated it. Not on me."
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. I gotta look into it. But I have Sanazi says that yes, she can hear you. So that's really cool. So I guess so. Here we are. First of all, it's so cool that you're an aquarium guy. You followed me for my political thing, and now we're definitely connecting with aquariums. I'm big into aquariums. As you can see, I have 3 in my immediate vicinity in my office. But also, we talked a lot about different politics. So are you a Second Amendment guy or no?
Absolutely. I don't identify as Republican or Democrat because they both, in my opinion, have failed to uphold their oath.
Okay.
And that oath being to follow and uphold the Constitution above all else. And there's too many people in politics on both sides currently that are entirely self-serving, in my opinion.
Okay.
So I describe myself as a constitutional absolutist.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Constitutional
Yeah.
absolutist. So you would like my post on Instagram about let me pull it up here. 1 second, bro. Let me go to this screen and let me go to my Instagram. Have you seen do you know who Aaron Russo is?
No.
Okay, so look at this guy right here.
My wrestling coach from high school's last name was Russo. That's about all I get there.
You wrestled in high school too?
Yeah.
Dude, we're like cut from the same cloth, bro. Like, same here. I literally wrestled in high school too.
That's sweet.
Yeah, dude. Awesome. Glad
Sets
to
you
hear
up
that.
well in life. Gives you a good jump start in the confidence department for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh, I had it early on. I was a tough kid in elementary school, junior high school, and high school. I was the kind of kid, bro, that I could take 2 to 3 guys at a time. And that's
especially in high school when people just come out swinging.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you just take them down and ground and pound and yeah.
Yeah. Especially if you can take a couple hits too, then you can take a few hits, get rid of the one, and then you're on to number 2.
Literally, exactly. Especially if you know how to move quickly. And and here's another thing, right? I played handball. I don't know if you remember or ever played that with the little blue ball. I played handball with a lot of the Mexicans in high school and junior high school. So I knew how to move fast and swing my hand around really fast. So that was, I think, a helpful thing. But look at the guy I have in the middle.
My coach made us do that, made us play handball as footwork and hand-eye coordination practice.
Dude, holy cow.
That's too funny.
So cool.
He also made us do Zumba for his own entertainment.
That's incredible. My high school wrestling coach would make us run, and he would jump in his convertible Mustang and drive behind us as we ran around the city. So that was interesting. Yeah. So
our coach followed us. He ran with us and then made fun of us when we couldn't keep up.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Mia,
and then his 80-year-old uncle would run with us too and keep up just fine. That dude was a robot.
Wow. Wow. Mia just gave us a little bit of info about herself. Never thought about how handball helped me in that area. Funny. Yes, Mia, think about it. When you play handball, you're running around the court. And if you're getting in a fight with multiple people, like with handball, you're swinging your hands around really hard and fast. And you hit one person, move, hit another person, move, hit another person. And that's how you win a fight against people that are jumping you. Anyway, Zach, have you see this guy on the top of my screen, Aaron Rousseau?
Give me a second. I got my other phone is in another room with YouTube. Let's see. Oh, the crazy guy.
Is America supposed to be?
At some point.
He talks about the Constitution and you know that we are a republic. Do you agree with him at all?
We are a Federalist republic. You can call it a constitutional republic, but it's more of a Federalist republic because a constitutional republic would be it would be the U.S. without a president. At least that's how I see it.
Gotcha.
The Federalist Republic has a president, has a figurehead, whereas the Constitutional Republic would be more like, I don't know, ancient Greece, where they had a group of old people getting together to talk about things from the different cities.
Yeah.
And the different states.
Yep.
Without a true figurehead where they meet as equals.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting. But I do see what you mean, and I agree. And it's funny you mentioned the Greeks. I just read the history of the Peloponnesian War, which was a long book.
That's a great book. I don't know which one you read. I read a few of them when I was younger.
Yeah, that was an insane book. Robert Greene recommended to read that book, and I did. And it took me a long time, but I got through it. Listen to this and let me know what you guys think. Okay, check this out. Ready? I'm going to hit play, and hopefully, let me hit play from the beginning if I can.
If you ask 100 people on the street, what kind of government is America supposed to be? 99% of them will tell you a democracy. But that's a lie. The word democracy is not written into the Constitution at one time. It's not in the Bill of Rights. It's not in the Declaration of Independence. The Founding Fathers hated the idea of a democracy. They thought it was the worst form of government there is. And I agree with them. Because in a democracy, 51% of the people control 49% of the people. If you're part of the 49%, you're not free. America was founded as a constitutional republic. And in that constitutional republic that we have, 99% of the people can't take away the rights of 1%. You have your rights because you were born with them, human rights that nobody can take away from you. The government, the majority, no matter who they are, I can't take away your rights. And that's what our founding fathers gave us. But the psychological operations that they do to us, they make us believe that we're a democracy and that majority rules, you see? And they want you to believe that. Because then they tell you this poll says this many want this and this many want that and this many want this, and it doesn't have anything to do with anything. You hear George Bush saying democracy means freedom. No, democracy equals New World Order. Democracy equals slavery. The word democracy is not synonymous with freedom. It's the opposite of freedom. Democracy is the worst form of government you can have because it's majority rule. And the government can tell you exactly what they want to tell you to do because the majority wants it. I don't care what the majority wants. I live my life as I choose. And if I don't commit violence, theft, or fraud against another human being, I can live my life as I wish. That's my choice. And if I'm allowed to make mistakes, because when you make mistakes, you learn from them. You grow as a human being. We're put on this earth to become the best individuals we can be, right? We're not here to put on this earth so that the government can tell us how to live our lives and what we must do. We put into these systems and these paradigms. No. If you ask 100 people on the street.
That video of mine got, check this out, got 4.2 million views. What do you think about that one, Zach?
I agree 99%.
Okay.
The 1% I disagree with is him calling it a constitutional republic, but we already went over that.
Okay. Okay. But I think that's just semantics, right?
Yeah, no, I absolutely love what he's saying. It's semantics unless you're in an argument with someone that knows what different political systems are and knows them well, then that's something that they can, pigeonhole you on.
Gotcha. And that goes back to what you're talking about with the Greeks. Okay. I understand that.
Yeah. Yeah, but I agree with him 100%. And most of the points he made are points I made last night in an argument with one of my QA, or not an argument, it was a debate because we weren't mad. And we have this debate all the time about what's wrong with America and how to fix it.
Okay. I'd love to talk to you more about that stuff. I gotta go use the restroom. I've been on the live for 3.5 hours so far. And I think I'll start up a live a little bit later. But I'd love to chat with you more. I think this was cool. I think this was super cool. I've never had a guest speaker on before.
It's probably the only time you'll ever have one on with 0 followers and 0 following.
Well, you just created your Instagram account, so it's understandable.
My last one got banned under Biden's first 2 years because I may or may not have posted some revolutionary topics.
So you literally are a product of what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, I was laughing when you said that.
Oh my gosh, bro.
But I might be able to get on your live later. I don't know. I work nights, so I'm about to head to bed here in a bit. I was actually doing some carpet cleaning while I listened to your live.
Oh man, thank you, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for calling in, dude. This is actually so cool. I'm super stoked, and I'm gonna do this a lot going forward. We're gonna hear from Mia and everyone else, and I can't wait to do more of this.
Yeah, I think it would be a great way also to kind of carry on that Charlie Kirk legacy that everybody's trying to do right now, because he could only talk to people when he was face to face with them. If you do it this way, you can have people on and just discuss civilly things that nobody agrees on.
Yeah, big time.
Which I think could be a very beneficial platform where you can, have these people who aren't able to have these conversations in their normal daily lives, and they can have them, virtually
and
from all over the world. And you can have people from other countries on who don't really understand the way America works. Because I have a friend from Switzerland from when I was in Europe, and she is absolutely dumbfounded on how the U.S. has a president that's elected by the people, because over there, every 2 years, their government and I think it's their Congress and Parliament get together and vote on someone from within their own groups to be president, but the people vote for all the people, all the options. So all the people in the government are voted for by the people, but the leader is chosen by the government. So it's a weird system.
I didn't know that. That honestly reminds me of what the Democrats did for the last 3 elections. Right?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I have a video for that, and with that video, I'm gonna finish our live. So let me pull up a video on why I just said that. You guys, if you're listening, Mia, thanks for being part of our thing. I'm gonna jump on with you at some point too, in one of these lives that we pull up. But I'm gonna pull up this video about why I think the Democrats didn't let people elect their nominees. And let me see, where is that video? Where is that video? It's here somewhere. Here it is.
By the way, it's just 3 straight nominations where Democratic voters didn't get a chance to pick the nominee. The elites picked Hillary Clinton, the elites picked Joe Biden, and the elites picked Kamala Harris. There was no actual set of voters who felt like they had a say in this.
Democrats, we should have had a primary for this midterm election.
And we didn't. And so now we're living with the consequences of it. I hope that our party wakes up and realizes it. But there's a reality in that we should have given our voters an opportunity to make a decision for themselves. And by the time we had to make a decision, it was too late.
By the way, it's just 3 straight nominations where Democratic voters didn't get a chance to pick the nominee. The elites picked Hillary Clinton, the elites picked Joe Biden, and the elites picked Kamala Harris. There was no...
Right?
Yeah, that's true. The only problem with that is it goes for both parties because the super PACs and the donors control who gets nominated, and largely, obviously, there's some sway there, but largely they control who wins the midterm or the why am I spacing it? I'm tired. The precursor thing. Help me out here.
Say that again so I can understand.
I'm spacing it. I'm tired. The precursor to the actual election where you choose the nominee.
The primary.
Yeah, primaries. Pretty much the primary winner is decided by the donors because that's who gets the most exposure and who gets the money, and who people see as the most viable candidate is who has the most people going, or the most groups behind them going.
Deal is with it. It might be picking back up here. Sorry, bro. I have to figure
You
this
got an
thing out.
emergency? Like, you're all good. I got off work at 5:30 a.m. and it's 10:15 my time. I'm up in Washington.
Oh, wow.
So it's about time for me to have these morning lives. I'd be happy to hop on and chat.
Okay, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thanks
I
again
used
for
to do
joining.
this stuff all the time.
And I'm so glad we connected on so many things with the aquariums and with wrestling and all this stuff. So we got a lot more to talk about.
Yeah.
Thanks again, dude.
Sad thing, I have no more aquariums. Back in April, my ex poisoned all of them.
Oh no!
I had a 75-gallon saltwater reef tank that was 5 years old, and all the corals were crazy established.
Oh.
And she killed all my killifish. I had 8 tanks with 12 different species of killifish.
Oh my gosh, bro. That's horrible. That is toxicity.
And now I just have all my reptiles that I breed. Don't worry, she got 2 felonies and 4 misdemeanors for that whole thing.
Oh, wow. That is major toxicity. Bro, at some point you gotta post some of the stuff on your new Instagram you just made, because I want to see it.
I'll have to change my name then on there so people don't know it's me at work. The Boeing company would probably frown upon it.
That's all good, bro. Do what you gotta do and let me know. Let's
absolutely
let's stay in touch, bud. Thanks, dude.
Absolutely. Have a great night. Good day.
You too. Bye-bye. Guys, that was awesome. I can't believe it. We had a great discussion. That was so cool. Mia, thank you for joining, guys. Thanks for joining. That was a really, really fun live session. We'll get each other on. To Bull, I'd love to talk to you too. Hopefully get to talk to you and chat, and everyone else. Love to hear the perspectives. And it's crazy how the more we talk, the more we realize we are alike in so many ways. So with that being said, I'm going to cut the live and appreciate you guys. Thanks again. Love you guys. And we'll have a good time going forward with all this stuff. Thank you. Bye-bye.